Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the old MCU crew. Jesse's in purgatory.
If you can tighten me up if you want, I can't fix it on my end. I can't. I tried. Lord knows I tried. Now you get the full background experience. Do you want to see that I have sound curtains against windows? You got it. Do you want to see my weird Chromacast green screen? You got it. Do you want to see the PlayStation 5? Got it. I got it all.
He's got it all.
This room of damnation.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now you're a big boy. Now you grew up. You filled that cam frame.
Not at all. I got a big black bar on one side. What a mess. What a mess you've made. What a mess you've made.
There we go. Now we can see the.
Now I'm off the one side. I thought you were professional. I thought you were pro at this.
I'm doing this live, Jesse. All right.
This is a lot of pressure.
There's a lot of pressure here.
You should have this down. I watch you do it for everyone else. When it comes to me, you can't do it for me.
How about this, Jesse?
Unreal.
How about this?
I've never looked thinner. Hold on, can I get right in Hey everyone, happy to be here. Oh, who is this handsome man? Look at this guy.
I feel like you're some kind of weirdo trying to peep into the podcast. Like you're not supposed to be here.
What's going on in there? Oh, here I am.
Now you're normal. Your head's just cut off, but that's fine. That's fine.
Great. You cut my. All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
Explore the great outdoors, everyone. Everyone gets to see that.
We could do this, baby. I'll vote. Your camera's crazy this morning. I don't know what's happening. It's crazy though.
It's so unprofessional for professional YouTuber Jesse Cox. We've come to expect excellence, and today it just wasn't brought to the table.
Well, also this camera is the coloring is off. Everything about this. You know what? This is what I get for trying to be like you, Bronze, and get a professional camera and not some bougie ass crap. I'm used to a webcam that I hook into my computer and it's fine. I got this damn thing. Now nothing works.
But it should be better.
I hope you know it's not working, Bronze.
It's Monday, everyone. Welcome to the MCU crew. Bronze, your audio's bouncing back and forth as well. It's a doozy here.
Every week I think I fix it, and every week I'm disappointed.
You got a Go XLR?
No, I have a full
you got the full-on mixer. That's right. Yeah. We've been through this. Anyways, it's fine. We'll work on it. I need to set aside time and actually just figure it out. What's going on? We got to figure that out. We got things to talk about. Whoa. Echo. Oh, it's gone. God damn it. When I say echo, you fixed it, Bronze. When I said echo, it's gone.
This is where we're at now, huh? This is it.
Yeah.
This is
I was excited to deal with some reverb, and it's gone.
Okay.
I'll
troubleshoot it off stream.
Okay. All right.
There's something there.
Okay.
But I don't know what it is.
It's all right.
I do have your mics coming in through my input again, which I know that was the problem.
Right.
But then when I switched channels, you guys got echo, which I don't know why that happened.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a lot of work. That audio game. I should set aside some time though and help you figure it out. Anyways, let's move on with the show. Let's start the show. It's been we've only got 55 minutes left of this 1 hour podcast, you guys. We got to fit everything in there. Okay.
It's Monday morning. Two of us are on the West Coast. Bronze woke up 6 minutes ago. I am I don't know. I slept for I think 3 total hours last night. It's a mess. I went to bed. By the way, I went to bed at 10 p.m. Heads up. went to bed at 10. Actually, technically 10. Woke up at midnight. Found out all sorts of nonsense about podcasts. Went back to bed. Woke up again. Went back to bed. I think I got like 3 hours. You know what? F it. Time is an illusion. We are all our own variants. You and I and us. We're not even the main characters, y'all. I'm just gonna let someone else do the work.
Okay, I think I'm a pretty good variant version of myself.
I like the alligator version of you better, but you're pretty all right.
Oh, that's fair. No, the alligator version's cuter, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
It's an alligator.
It also has incredible eyebrows.
True.
It also has like very good eyebrows.
That alligator's eyebrows, they're on fleek.
They're like on point. Yeah.
It's on fleek now. You can't say point anymore. It's fleek.
On fleek?
Yeah. I think that's what the kids say.
Is it a street?
Yeah.
Like the Damon Barbara Fleek Street?
Yep.
Which is a different musical.
It's next to 6th Street. It's close to that. The old 6th Street.
Right. Near the 6th Street Promenade. Right. Where everything goes down. Right.
Fleek Street is right next door. That's true. That's true. What the fuck are we talking about?
Isn't that right, fellow teens? Wink.
This is how we get the viewers, Jesse. Where to begin? Obviously, Loki episode 4, very big episode. People are chomping at the bit, wanting us to talk about it. Someone demanded that we do the show on Friday instead of Monday, but I kind of like the Monday time slot.
I think was that person me? Was I the one who was like, we should do this on Friday?
You could have been that. There was a bunch of people that were saying that. But for now, I think we're sticking to Mondays, at least through July, because next week we'll be on the front page of the old Twitch. And then the week after, we got 2 bangers of a show to be on the front page of Twitch. We could straight up spoil Black Widow and Loki episode 5, and then we could spoil the finale of Loki for the entirety of the front page of Twitch, which I'm very excited about.
I can't wait to get that free engagement.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of engagement. A lot of engagement.
That Bronze Girl finally goes viral is by spoiling Loki. That's a great way to go viral. That's much better than showing my feet or another body part on stream.
Hold on,
ending
feet
up
were on the table?
Wait, hold on. Hold on now. Wait a minute. We could have been Bronze. This could have happened 10 episodes ago.
This could have been a feet stream?
Yeah.
Son of a
10 episodes.
That'll be
You're keeping this
on our
secret?
100th episode, okay, chat? We'll all show our feet. It'll be
we just do a feet episode. We draw faces on our feet.
Yeah.
That's the absolute worst podcast.
I'll have
That's
a
trash
Doctor Strange themed pedicure. We all get themed pedicures.
Imagine where we'll be in 90 episodes. Where the MCU
we'll
will
have our
gone.
own Avengers Tower.
That's almost 2 years from now. It's a year and change. Yeah.
So what you're saying is I have plenty of time to I don't know, invest in foot camera technology is what you're saying? A really good foot camera?
You were gonna say, I was like, what are you gonna do to your feet in 2 years, Jesse?
Nothing. My feet are phenomenal. I've got fine feet. I've got lovely feet. My footsies are well taken care of. Thank you very much. I want to show them off. It's just uncomfortable because then people will be messaging me for more feet pics, and it's that's not my thing. It's not who I am. I'm not a feet pic guy. It's not who I am.
True.
I don't want this to be my thing. I don't want to be known as Feet Pic Jesse.
It would be Feet Pic Jessam. That's the name. Not even Jesse.
Jessam,
it's Jessam.
Sounds like a bodily fluid. Not okay. Not okay.
You gotta crank up the oddity. Jessam.
There's about 8% Jessam in there, so you got to get it out.
Does anyone call you Jessam in your life, Jesse? I've called you Jessam a couple of times. I don't know why. That's I started calling you Jessam, and I'm gonna stick with it. I think I'm gonna stick with it. Yeah.
Oh boy, that sucks. Yeah. Thanks, I guess.
Old Jessam. Dodger has definitely called him Jessam. Is that where I got it from? Is this Dodger's fault?
Jessup is what Dodger calls me.
Jessup with a UP.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, that's that sounds like a fun ketchup. It's ketchup mixed with Jesse. Jessup.
Ah, Jessup. All right.
Jessup.
Which I can recommend is delicious.
That makes sense.
I'm thinking about condiments now.
Yeah?
Yeah. Where do we stand as mustard?
Well, okay.
Where are we at on mustard? Mustard fans?
How we doing
I
on
like
condiments?
mustard, except this is gonna sound funny considering like I grow my own spicy peppers and I have like.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you grow your own mustard. I was very confused.
Oh no! Well, it's like people from my audience know that I eat like some crazy peppers and I have a crazy spice tolerance, but I can't eat real mustard.
Ah.
Like real mustard, real wasabi, real horseradish, anything that like burns your nose. So the first time I had, what is it, Coleman's or the actual British mustard?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm pretty sure
that
burned off some of my neurons. Yeah. Like I enjoyed the taste, but I was also just like, I'm so not used to nasal spice that it was so much for me. So I don't know if I don't know if like normal French's mustard counts. If that's the case, I am a fan of mustard. But if we're talking about like real mustard, I can't handle it, even though I can eat the hottest hot sauces on hot ones and dip my fries in it.
Well, I think you can get some nasal spice downtown if you really look for it.
Yeah.
You just got to go
to the back alleys for the nasal spice.
There are a few clubs I can help you out. You can get some nasal spice.
Yep. It's true.
Nasal spice. What a phrase.
I don't know what else to call that type of spice that feels like it's like, frying your brain.
Are you putting spices in your nose? You know you're supposed to just put that in your mouth as well, right, Bronze? Just because it's called nasal spice?
I know, but you just feel it all the way into your brain holes.
That's how you know it's working. That's how you know it's so good. Oh, now I want to go out to there's a steakhouse in Indiana that's famous for their shrimp cocktail. And their shrimp cocktail has the most horseradish ever. It will you will grow a pair of balls and then they'll explode. You'll be like, what's happening? In seconds.
You're going to see so much. You're going to think I'm exaggerating. The first time my friends saw it, they couldn't handle it. They're like, you eat Reaper peppers and grow your own Scotch bonnets, but give you a little wasabi and you're like, for 30 minutes, I just can't handle it.
I love that. It wakes you up. You're like, yo! It's how in Back to the Future 3 when Doc Brown wakes up. Yeah. That's how it feels. It would be like, whoa! That's amazing. I love that feeling.
That's pretty good.
Every time I go to this dim sum place down the road, I'm like, give me that hot mustard. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, oh! Every time. Every time. I don't even care. Let everyone look. I'm like, yeah, woo! Every time.
Welcome to the MCU Crew, guys. Glad to have you here. I'm gonna pull an old saying from an old friend. We sometimes talk about the MCU here, but most of the times not. So it depends on what type of show it's going to be. Where do we want to begin? It's Black Widow week. Are you guys? Is there hype for I feel like I'm in a vacuum, right? I feel like I'm in my own special section of the corner of the internet, so I don't get out much. All right, is what I'm getting at. Is there hype for Black Widow this week? Are people what do you guys see? You guys are out and about. Is there hype for this?
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't seen much. There's maybe a couple of people, but for the most part, this isn't. I think Loki got more hype, and WandaVision got more hype than what Black Widow has been getting, at least so far. Now, I also haven't asked, so I'm sure if I were to put on Twitter, who's excited for Black Widow, there would be a lot more people, but maybe they're quietly excited.
I didn't even remember it was coming out till you tweeted, did you get your tickets yet? And I was like,
that was me.
Should I go get tickets?
Was Reggie. Yeah. No, Reggie reminded me as well, wait a minute, do I need to buy tickets? You can watch it on Disney Plus though. Here's the thing: is Black? I think we've discussed this. Is Black Widow the return to theater movie? Are we all going to the theater to see this, or are we going to watch it at home? I'm kind of thinking about home.
Me too.
I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to one of those old theaters and see it. Now it's I think I'm just going to stay at home, right? My bed's pretty comfortable. I could just watch it in bed. That sounds great. Maybe pause it, go get a drink halfway through, not miss anything.
Rewind?
Yeah, maybe if I missed something, I could rewind it. That's also a wait, can you rewind those? I guess you can, right?
What? Why wouldn't you be able to?
I don't know. It just seems bizarre to me that I'm able to rewind a movie. Yeah, that is weird. Jesse, are you going to a theater? What's the deal?
No, I already did the math and was like, look, normally I wouldn't spend $29.99, which is garbage price, but whatever.
That's a lot.
I was like, normally I wouldn't spend that, but you factor in the fact that I have to drive to the movie theater.
Yep.
I have to pay for parking. I have which by the way in LA sucks, so I have to pay for parking.
Sure.
So screw me.
Got to sit in a Metroplex or some shit.
Yeah, then car. It's like, like $16 for the movie. And then obviously I'm gonna get a drink.
Yeah.
So that's another however much. I was like, you know what? I'll just stay at home. And then I have to wear a mask the entire time. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. That sounds like a pain in the ass too.
Is that still protocol? Do you got to wear a mask regardless of vaccination?
It is in theaters because you're stuck in a room for however many hours. So that's definitely, at least in LA.
Huffing people's BO and whatnot. Yeah, that's COVID worthy. You catch some COVID in there.
I hope not. I hope that's not the one thing I get out of the Widowmaker movie.
Yeah.
Widowmaker.
That's it. Jesse, welcome to Monday. It says, wake up, motherfucker.
And you said I woke up 6 minutes ago. We need to get this man some wasabi, chat.
That's true.
Yo! Ooh, yeah, that's what I need.
You got to do it'd be an art. I think if you woke up from the Doc Brown special, you'd wake up like R2D2. That's what I think.
The Widowmaker movie. Yeah. Maybe it's just something I want. I don't know.
The Widow. I'm sure that movie exists. The Widowmaker. It's like an Antonio Banderas assassin film.
Oh, he's the my God. Yeah, the one where he's like a bee.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here to relieve your pollen allergies. Do not worry.
Sure.
I will fight off the Widowmaker. Right? And he's like, oh, Sting. Right? Look, he's the bee.
Yeah.
He'll always only be the bee.
He's the bee.
He's the bee, and he's the dude from Desperado who says, let's play. And that's it. That's all he is to me now. That's it. If you're not from America, you don't know that he's a bee. Antonio Banderas is a bee.
Nailed it.
Sells you allergy meds. He's not Puss in Boots. He's Desperado, and he's the bee. That's it. Let's play.
He could be both. You never know. Anyways, let's talk MCU for a bit. We'll jump into Loki episode 4 in just a sec. I think Black Widow will cover it next week. I think if you want to hear our full thoughts on that, you can tune into the previous episodes. Funko Pop, though, the toys that keep delivering the spoilers. We've got more spoilers. You want to hear them, or should we not talk about them? We got a suit spoiler.
I obviously want to hear them, of course.
Yeah, I want to hear them too.
It's a suit spoiler from Funko. Apparently, in Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Strange will be helping out Peter Parker with his suit, as there is a new Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Iron Spider suit, according to this Funko.
Can we see it?
We can. It's the top left one.
Can we see this?
Looks like he's got a little magic thing in its chest. A multiverse thing, maybe. Maybe.
What does that mean for the plot of this movie?
I don't know.
Fascinating. What does that mean for the plot of this film?
I don't know.
That's interesting. I don't know what that means, but I like it.
I wonder if that means that the next couple of movies are just going to be absolutely bonkers because of what's currently happening in Loki. They're just going to go full on craziness for what's occurring.
My prediction is that Stephen Strange is going to replace Tony Stark as Peter's father figure.
Yeah. It makes sense because the connection in Endgame, right? Well, I guess in Infinity War.
Because I'm not going to lie. The last movie, the interactions between Happy and Peter were depressing. Am I wrong? They were both like mourning, and it was a film about mourning. I feel like although that's not the film where we lost Iron Man, that's the film where we mourned Iron Man's loss. And I mean, that can't stay there forever because that's just sad.
It was a little
why
sad.
Why does Doctor Strange? Why does Doctor Strange have that outfit and more importantly a shovel?
Here's the thing, Bronze. I was totally paying attention to you, and then I scrolled down, and exactly what Jesse just described, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Well, I was paying attention, Bronze.
What is Bronze talking about?
I feel like you were really sad that entire movie. I want to be like, are you all right?
Why does he have a shovel?
Okay?
What's going on?
But this is important.
Is he like the Home Alone old guy with the shovel? Is he just gonna like beat up the Brooklyn Bandits? I think those were the names of the guys in Home Alone. Anyways, I'm old. Yeah, I don't know why he's got this. That's weird. Jesse, you were saying here's the thing.
Next to him?
I can't figure out
any.
I can't figure out any of these Funkos. First off, I'm not a fan of them to begin with. I hate Funko things. They always drive me crazy. But here's my question.
Okay.
What is this movie about? So we have one character who looks like he's off to college for the first time, and he's like, I'm not really part of this movie. Then you have Doctor Strange, who is doing that dirty. He's like on episode 8 of Dirty Jobs. So Doctor Strange is doing that.
Wait, can we just get a Doctor Strange Dirty Jobs? Can we just like expand on that for a second? I just want to see Doctor Strange on Dirty Jobs. Micro, he's in the podcast game now. He doesn't do Dirty Jobs anymore. Get Doctor Strange in there. Let's do it.
And then MJ looks like one of the Doctor Who characters. This is out of whack. I can't figure out what's happening right now. I am really excited for this movie now because I don't know what any of this means. It's bonkers. This is nonsense. Frankly, I'm very excited.
I'm also a little confused because none of these have mouths, which I think is just the Funko way, but they gave Doctor Strange a like goatee around where a mouth would be.
Well, that's where his mouth would be.
It's a little. I guess that's character specific, right? It's how you point him out. But
why does he have a shovel? That is the most.
I don't know why he has a shovel. That's the most
important thing.
I don't care about the suit anymore. This is whatever. Sure, Spider-Man's got a new suit. Why does Doc Strange have a shovel?
Why does he have a shovel? That's the most important thing. That's the most important. That's the plot of the next movie. That shovel. Why would they give it to him? Why is that important enough to put on his action figure?
I don't know. Do you think it's like a magical item shovel?
What? Why would it be that way? That makes no sense. It's nonsense.
You think it's a time shovel?
A time shovel?
Yeah. A multiverse shovel? I don't know. It's a little bizarre.
I have no clue. When does this movie come out?
November. Hold on. Have they even put a release date to it? Is it December? December 17th, 2021. It's the holiday movie. Everyone's excited to see.
Do you think it takes place? Question. Because it's December, do you think this takes place during the winter? And that's why Doctor Strange has snow boots and a shovel, because he's shoveling the sidewalk.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be something completely like innocuous, where it's like a funny scene where he just seems completely relatable and tired. I'm more
like it's
interested
him outside shoveling snow, but he has his cape on for some reason, but he's wearing like a jacket and snow boots. Is that what this is going to be?
Yeah, like, that's my theory. But I don't know. I also think it's interesting that Zendaya's character MJ has like a suit on.
Yeah.
She looks very professional. It makes me wonder if she's gonna like intern.
Well, somewhere. Did they graduate from high school?
No, not yet.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
They're still supposed to be
the other kid, what's his name? Flash? Zip?
No, this is
That's not Flash. That's his other friend.
This is the man in the suit, or the man in the seat.
Man in the chair.
Man in the chair. He's
Sorry,
also
it's hard to tell with Funko Pops. They're,
Ned.
They don't have that many distinguishing marks.
I think the actor that plays Ned also lost a lot of weight.
Ned's doing the every fat guy thing. Every fat guy relates to Ned. You get it. In one movie, he's one size, and the next movie is a different size, and in this movie is a different. Every fat dude on Earth understands Ned. We all are on the same page with you. We get it, dude. Every movie, he's a different size. We're like, yeah, no, that checks out.
I'm trying to see if I can find a current day photo of him, but I'm not having luck.
Oh, that's right. And some of them were held back because they were gone for 5 years.
Oh, also, apparently the big news, if we're getting into the Hollywood news, I guess Tom and Zendaya are dating now.
They were kissing in a car. Dating is like,
what the hell? You knew, right? Are you a Hollywood gossiper, Jesse Cox?
I mean, I am up on Marvel information, and the two of them are Marvel characters, and so when they were got kissing in a car, and
that was like,
oh my God, the love is real.
Whew, you were on top of it.
Well, let me just say, as a human being who, has kissed a few people, it's just kissing.
Okay.
It's just kissing.
Okay.
They aren't like, it wasn't like, and then they exchanged vows. Like, they were just two incredibly attractive people, like, in a car smooching. And people are like,
how do you not kiss?
Yeah. If anything, I'd be like, look, we have to, right? Like, yeah, no, we definitely do. Okay, let's do this.
Like, that's the Jessam game right there. That's big Jessam game.
Yeah. If I ever met anyone equally as attractive as me, BJG. I think we would both agree that that's what would have to occur. We'd both be in the car together, and I'd be like, we doing this? And they'd be like, yeah, we are. And I'd be like, all right, nice.
All right, look at this photo. This is actually kind of a bigger. This is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's a goddamn rock star.
Like I said, he did that like Jonah Hill thing. We're like, Jonah Hill got big, and then he got small, and then he got big again, and he got small.
Well, wasn't there also some rumor, or like, didn't he also have to gain weight for a lot of the films where they're like, yeah, we want a bigger guy, and Jonah was like,
I think is one of the weird things about Hollywood is, he wanted to do films where they were like, get thinner so you can do this role. And he's like, okay. And then they were like, we want to cast you, but you're not like the fun fat friend anymore. So we can't, like, you aren't going to fit this role. It's wild. Hollywood's crazy. It's the exact opposite for women. Women, there's only one rule. But for guys, it's like, no, well, you aren't the fat friend anymore. So I'm so sorry, we can't cast you. And it's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
He looks great.
He
looks very good.
It kind of explains why he's wearing that jacket, though, because he's probably they're probably narratively going to say he joined the football team. And that's how he lost the weight.
That's how he got the letter jacket?
Yeah, I definitely thought it was the other guy, Flash or whatever, because, I don't know why I associate I don't associate the Letterman with douchebaggery, but films stereotypically do.
Yeah.
So I thought, I think you could play sports and be a nerd. Sue me.
Do you think that, well, sorry, finish your thought. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, so I thought it was the other kid, the one that calls him Penis Parker.
Right.
Sorry, that guy's funny to me.
You mean Venom is what you mean.
Yeah, I think.
Canonically Venom. Right.
Just a second. My phone's going off. I have no clue.
Uh-oh.
That is the internet calling you for confusing this guy for Flash.
It's true. They're very upset.
They're very upset.
They're upset.
How dare you?
Yeah.
They're pop figures. They have like 3 distinguishing features.
They have no distinguishing features. Anytime I meet someone who's like, I'm a pop figure collector, I'm like, you're wasting your money. You're just like an Amiibo fan. You've wasted your money. That's right. I'm doing it right uses. Now. Nah, they don't.
As someone who has a decent amount of collectibles, the Amiibos have uses.
I'm ashamed by what's behind you as well. Too much.
We also have literally every Disney Infinity toy ever released for some reason in this household.
Throw those away. Those are the Beanie Babies of the 2010s.
They're back there on the spiral. They're back there on the spiral.
Toss them out.
Yeah.
I think they're just like, I think that the draw of Funko Pops probably doesn't come from the aesthetic, but from it's a easy entry point for people that want to collect something them. Or have a memento. Like, because I have a couple of Sideshow collectibles, Doctor Strange stuff, but I don't expect anybody else to pay that, or like the Figuarts price or any of those. So I think it's just, it's accessible. You can get them almost anywhere, and they're somewhat, I feel like they're almost like a good signifier, where you put something down and everybody kind of recognizes roughly what that thing is supposed to be like when you're playing D&D. I feel like Funko Pops are that. But I'm not gonna lie, I have a hard time figuring out which one is which. Like it's like a thing I have, like a weird form of dyslexia, because people will show me their Funko Pops and I have no clue who it is.
Yeah,
most of the time.
No, I agree with that. Yeah, we don't own. I think we have Gears of War Funkos somewhere in this house, and that's the only one. But that's because I think Microsoft sent them to us. We did not purchase those with our own money. So we're off the hook.
I would have given them away to someone who enjoys them. I would have been like,
I have like
that's my wife. That's why, she's a huge Gears of War fan.
I have like the Monster Hunter ones. I don't have any of the humanoids. Because the humanoids are the ones I can't really tell the difference of, but I have the Funko Pop dragons.
Right.
And because I can tell what that is.
Do they have tails on the dragon, or is it just okay? They do.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
It's like a full dragon. They have like a Zenogre and a Rathalos, and so I have those. But yeah.
There you go. That's our Funko Pop tale. Are you gonna get the Doctor Strange Funko Pop with shovel? Old Man Strange?
I mean, obviously, yes, I am.
After all this, Jesse, you're in?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm going to get them. Yeah, all 6 of these I'm going to purchase and display proudly on my mantle. Is that where you put a Funko Pop?
That's where mantle? Funko Pop's the line.
As a conversation piece when people come over for high tea. They'll be like, "Oh, Jesse, is that Doctor Strange?" And I'm like, "Yes." Like, "Oh my, why does he have a shovel?" And I'll be like, "Well, let me tell you, it was a cold winter in New York City that year." Yeah.
It's true.
That's how it goes.
True. Yeah. What is... Sorry, there was another toy, and I don't really know what this toy actually is doing, and I need some help with this. What the hell is this toy doing?
That's a weird question. I'm sorry, what?
What is?
I don't even think the toy knows. It says mystery web gear. It's a mystery to the toy itself.
Besides throwing up the horns, this guy is... Does it say?
What the hell is this toy doing?
Why does the webbing look like that?
There's 2 other toys that have mystery web gear.
What does that mean?
/film.com reports each of these figures have Spidey wielding accessories that make it look like his web can now take on the form of mystical shapes and weapons. One figure is wielding some kind of trident and a large fist, while another has some kind of sharp web blast. There's also one that appears to be a web shield, and behind that is one of the Dao mandala shapes we've seen Doctor Strange use before.
I'm more interested in that clip-on armor that's sitting by his foot.
Is that like body armor?
That's what it looks like to me. It looks like it would clip over his chest and fortify him in some way.
That's a little weird.
Do you think that the package art has been altered?
Oh, to hide the fact that it's part of the movie.
The mystery web gear looks like it's over something else, like that white swirl.
This one's
these are definitely from the movie.
The bad guys, they're over there. I got him. I'm going to go get him with my spike.
These are definitely the Funko Pops that we saw. So they're from the movie.
Yeah.
So the question becomes, is this going to be like full on multiverse craziness?
Could be. It very well could be.
It's like, just look at the image. It says mystery web gear, and then there's this white splotch, but then there's like clearly something
behind it
that was underneath it.
I don't know. There's one more. Look at this one. This one's maybe the most absurd of them all. Because he just has a giant drill. And also a fist at the end of his... at the end of the web.
This movie's about to be super bonkers. I'm so here for it. It's
gonna be insane.
I'm so here for this ridiculous movie. What is happening right now? Also, Mephisto confirmed.
God damn it, Jason. Guys, we're done. We'll see you next week. We'll talk about episode 4 and 5 in the same week. And Black Widow. It's gonna be a long one.
Right?
Good show, everybody. I don't even know where to go. I don't even know what to say.
Well, Jesse ruined it for everyone.
He did. Like, he did. Without a doubt. Good
night, everybody.
The article also goes on, it should be noted that sometimes the Marvel movie action figures made for kids include extra accessories that don't have any place in the film itself. But since the Funko Pop of Spider-Man teases some kind of integration with Doctor Strange's powers, we think these enhanced web weapons are something we'll see in the movie.
I don't. They're going to have drill hand in the movie? I find that hard to believe.
I don't, like, how do you... Is Spider-Man a fucking wizard? Is that what's happening? Does he, like, get trained in the wizardly ways of Doctor Strange? And then he can morph his... I mean, the tech behind his webs is all technology, right? Like, it's not, he doesn't, I don't know.
I don't think any of us can possibly figure out although, hold on, what is the Marvel MCU schedule? What is the MCU schedule right now?
What do you mean?
Like upcoming things.
Oh, we've got Eternals, we've got Ball of Madness, we've got What If, Black Widow Friday.
Okay, so in order, it
Shang-Chi,
looks like
right.
We have Black Widow, July 9th. Then What If is August of 2021.
Uh-huh.
Shang-Chi is September 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Then Eternals.
November.
And then Spider-Man.
Eternals November, right?
November 5th, it says.
God damn, that's a lot of movies.
Yeah. So we have 4 movies for the rest of the year, plus What If. And
also
I watched,
Hawkeye,
again,
I think. Hawkeye somewhere.
It says Hawkeye is sometime, but it doesn't have a date. It says late 2021, whatever that means.
Yeah, I think Hawkeye's going to be like November.
But it also
October.
says Miss Marvel late 2021. So that's 2 they have to cram in. Yeah.
I think that'll get pushed. Or already has been pushed.
But the fascinating thing about all this is that based on Loki, which we do need to talk about, I was watching the What If trailer. And the What If trailer is like very cool in that, you know, it does the thing that every What If is, but it also has like the Watcher as like the host.
He's the host, yeah.
And it's sort of a, you know, if these things were different, which I think is a great follow-up to Loki. And it's like, okay, moving into, it's very clear they're setting up like, what were the possibilities? What could be real? What is reality? I'm ready for Spider-Man to get weird. I want to see weird Spider-Man.
Right.
Right? Like the Eternals and so they're like setting up all of these you can see that it's like, okay, Shang-Chi is going to set up some of the supernatural elements, right? And then you're going to have Eternals, which can set up the intergalactic elements. So now we exist in a world of both intergalactic, interdimensional, and like fantasy,
dragon type shit.
All of it together. Yeah, I mean that's at the end of the day, that's pretty core Marvel.
Yeah.
Even though most of us think of Marvel as like it's the street level brawls with Kingpin, truly it's like, and then Gorgamoth of the 12th Legion flew his warship to the 6th dimension. That's really what Marvel is. Let's not, it's really what it is. So I'm ready for that. I'm ready to get weird with it. Like Thanos was like baby Marvel when you think about what Marvel actually is. Yeah. Marvel is like, and then in the other dimension, like meanwhile, in another dimension, it's wacky stuff. I'm ready.
Let me ask you this. Why is it for me, and this is a personal question, I guess, why is it for me that the weirdest thing out of all of this is that there's a fucking dragon in Shang-Chi?
But the dragon is, here's the thing, canonically, the dragon's an alien.
Right. Are they going to say that? Do you think that, like,
I don't know.
Oh yeah, the dragon like landed on Earth millennia ago. It has lived and provided all of us with our power. Right? Is that how they're going to do this?
I mean,
because the rings are supposed to be the rings are on the arm. Everyone believes because they're dragon-sized rings for dragon hands.
I mean, that's first off, super dope. Second off, if it was alien technology, they wouldn't have to explain it. They could just be like, yeah, it's alien tech. And three, we have to see what the full dragon looks like, because the original dragon in the comics looks goofy as shit. And he is like, he looks like he could be an alien because he's got like weird feet and he's like, I'm the dragon. And in this, he looks like a kind of badass underwater dude. So yeah. I don't know.
They'll probably get to mix some characters. I don't think they'll do a Fin Fang Foom, at least not in that movie. But it's still the weirdest thing for me.
Yeah, I don't know. The dragon's not Fin Fang Foom. Well, but dragons canonically in Marvel, aren't they just aliens? Isn't that the whole goof?
I think so. I believe so.
I think given some of what we know about Eternals, they're going to have to at some point start doing this thing where it's like, well, this person was here all along, or this was happening all along, and you just didn't know. And we kind of saw them do that with the TVA too, right? Like, technically the TVA has been present. Oh God, this is where it gets wibbly wobbly, timely wimey, because they grabbed Loki from the past, so they were present throughout the entire events of what we've witnessed so far, except they exist outside of the timeline.
Maybe. I mean, that's all maybe now. We got to get, we'll get to all
that. I don't know anymore, JP.
Yeah.
But I think they're kind of falling into this theme of like, well, this was always here. Even with like the witches, with Scarlet Witch, with WandaVision, they kind of were like, oh, well, witches existed. They were there the whole time and you just didn't know. Or the recent drop of vampires.
Yeah, like, that's they were the second time we had a vampire drop. And they just like casually walked by. Nothing. Vampires. Yeah.
I kind of like this theme they've been putting in, where they, instead of sitting here trying to explain why we didn't know and this, that, and the other, they're just kind of like, oh yeah, they were there. They've been there. So I think there could definitely be this thing where it's like, oh yeah, Fin Fang Foom has been around. And then he went in the ocean or whatever and decided to hang out with Cthulhu for like, 2 to 3 centuries. Who knows? But he's been there the whole time. I wouldn't be surprised if they just do something like that.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, they've done a pretty fantastic job of retconning in a way that isn't too offensive. A great example is they introduce all these amazing characters, and they're like, this character has the power of this, and this character can do this. And we always think like, okay, well, why weren't they helping in New York, for example? But I think Endgame did a great job of like, oh no, like Sorcerer Supreme was like, there doing,
he was always there,
like the Sorcerer Supreme thing.
Yeah.
Right. And like fighting, but just wasn't in this narrow scene of one street that we saw. And I'm like, okay, I as a fan can accept that, even though it would have been like, wild if that wasn't the case. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, Sorcerer Supreme had to be there the entire time. But, it wasn't planned, so it's hard to show that kind of stuff. But it's nice that they like include that. So I'm really interested to see things like like the Atlanteans. Like, what were they up to? What was going on with them the entire time? Things like the Shang-Chi stuff and what was going on there. Why wasn't he involved in a lot of things? And so I also think them filling in the gaps is fun too. Is going back and being like, well, actually, he was doing this, or they were doing this thing, and I'm like, all right, that's fun. It like creates a better, more cohesive world.
Sure. Yeah, that all makes sense, I suppose. It's fucking dragon. It's a little weird. Right? Like, where was the dragon when Spider-Man needed against Mephisto in London? Why didn't he? Not Mephisto. Jesus Christ. No, Mephisto. Nope, not Mephisto.
But I think it's the same. I think it's the same thing as
I'm blanking on.
When you think about the Sorcerer Supreme tasked with protecting the Sanctum.
Yeah.
And so, I imagine this dragon is like, hey, my job is to protect the ring of.
Here's the thing. Do you think he speaks English, or does he speak telepathically, or is he just like a loud booming dragon voice?
Well, considering everyone is speaking English in this film, and I don't think any of them are like, I don't know. I guess it's for an Americanized audience.
Yeah.
Normally, I would be like, oh, just subtitle this thing. But I imagine the dragon speaks perfect English. I imagine the dragon is flawlessly Englished.
Furious Furball makes a really great point that is kind of mind-blowing if you think about it. Thanos speaks English, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanos speaks English.
Everyone speaks English. At the end of the day. Everyone around the galaxy, except for the people that... Here's how you know they don't speak English. Do they look humanoid? If they don't, they're like, right? But if they're humanoid, they're like, oh, hello, fellow humanoid.
Sure.
Yeah. Because we've all decided that British colonialism extended into space. They really did a number on the galaxy, let me tell you.
Well, that was Captain Britain, right? That's how that worked. Yeah. He went to space with this magical sword and Merlin, and they taught the universe how to speak English. That's true. He did a course in space, taught everyone, cosmic being, how to speak English.
Even the Grand Master speaks English.
Yeah.
And
he was in Jurassic Park, so he learned from the dinosaurs. There were also aliens. Those were also magical beings.
Yeah.
Universally, even Dormammu. Even Dormammu speaks English. Everyone's like, it's his chosen. He prefers it when devouring worlds. He prefers it.
Look, Duolingo really blew up during COVID. Okay, it got some places.
I've been stuck here for centuries. I had lots of free time. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like having to explain it every time is just pedantic. Because I feel like they always have English? To. Yeah, because I get why. No, they understand that a good chunk of their audience doesn't want to sit there and read subtitles, and it's the same reason everyone speaks common in D&D. It just makes things easier until you don't want it to make things easier anymore, and then you insert, oh well, this character doesn't speak common, right? But it because like they even had to do that with like the TVA. Like I also speak every language on the timeline. Like, oh, I've got a universal translator. Oh, I'm a god. I just know every language. Like, why does it need to be explained? There's a way for them to communicate, because there's a way for people to freaking wield magic and do everything else. So why wouldn't there be a way for them to speak another language? I just feel like it just gets in the way to sit there and try to be like, well, how would or I guess like, because I think that's a valid question, like, is he psychic or not? But getting into. I don't think they have to explain it every time. There's a way.
Yeah,
there's a way. Because even all the commentary and announcement, like the Grandmaster was doing in this like intergalactic contest of champions. Or I guess it's not really intergalactic so much as it's like, a bunch of dregs from a bunch of different countries or a bunch of different systems collected on one planet, was still in English. I'm sure it was some type of universal translator thing, but honestly, who cares?
Yeah. Who cares?
It is, again, let me just say, if you're down on the street level and like an alien with 3 noses comes up to you, it 100% is like, oh, pakota, chupo. And then like everyone else is like, oh, that's just Greg. Don't worry about him. He's wild.
Yeah.
You're just like, what? Why gotta talk shit about Greg? Greg's like, what the snopo?
If it's a Marvel movie, someone does speak that language. They translate it, and it's usually just a quip. It's just a joke that he's saying. Or he doesn't like the guy. And then the character lies and says, oh, yeah, he really likes you. Yeah. That's the Marvel. Also, this is Star Wars.
You're totally
characters.
Right. That's absolutely what it is.
Yeah.
It's always just like, oh, snapo topo. And he's like, oh, he says he likes you. And he's like, oh, nakata. Every time.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the joke. Every time. Every time.
It's true. It's true. All right. Being that this is an hour-long podcast and we have 9 minutes left, let's talk about Loki episode 4, entitled The Nexus Event. Wow, we really were wrong about a lot of shit, you guys. We didn't really predict.
I don't know. We were right about a lot too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's Kang though, right? Like we're all on the same page.
Maybe. Let's first say this because
100% Kang.
For some reason,
I was right. It's 100% Kang.
For some reason in the U.S., we are front paged right now to 18,000 people watching. So we'll just say
18,000 people are watching this.
Yeah, currently. Hey, we're gonna discuss Loki and straight up spoil the entirety of every episode up till episode 4. If you don't want to hear this, maybe click away. All right, you've been warned. I don't. Maybe it might be Kang. I don't. It
Bronze, are you?
It could be Kang.
I'm just stuffing sugar cookies into my mouth on the front page.
I mean, look, you're a person
Kojak,
too.
you see it?
You're a person too.
Before somebody's like, this female is disgustingly eating cookies during a podcast. How unprofessional.
Yeah, so unprofessional.
Yeah. That's some high quality H2O there. Where do you guys what let me first off start this way.
Kang.
I don't know if it's Kang, but let me ask you this, Jessam.
It's happening, JP.
We got to have a discussion here. What do we think about the idea of hooking up with your alter dimension you? Would you sleep with the female variant?
Hesitation.
Zero hesitation. You kidding me?
Is that not like
what?
I mean,
the hell with the timelines. I would damage that timeline all night.
Do you think the show is messing with us though? Like, and it's not actually them bonding romantically. It's them not, or it's them dying on that planet that was causing the spike.
I think it's definitely going to be something different, right? It's certainly going to be not them being in love, because this show is all about red herrings. It is entirely about either like Loki caring about someone other than him, or some other thing. It's definitely not what Mobius assumed, right? It's gonna be that's part of the ending for sure.
I have a crazy theory.
Here we go. That's why we're here.
Okay. So during the course of the episode, at one point, Mobius puts Loki in a chamber where he has to repeatedly get punched in the junk by Sif. And
correct.
Although initially it's funny, at some point you're like, God, this is kind of horrible, right? During that scene, Loki says that he knows that he's alone and that he'll always be alone, and that's why he does things like shave off half of Sif's hair, because that's him trying to look for any, I forget what he says. He says something like any shred of attention or something like that. Or lash out because he knows he's always going to be alone. And Mobius shows up and says, like, do you really believe you're going to be alone? Do you really believe like there's nothing in you that's like worth redeeming? I think that what causes the variant spike is that Loki does on some level believe that. But in loving Sylvie, he's actually loving himself by finding something redeemable and worth sacrificing himself for in Sylvie. Is he not basically saying that he is also worth saving, that he believes in himself, and believing in her, he's believing in him? That there's something good there, that there's something worth saving, that there's something redeemable, that there's something worth sacrificing himself for. And that's what's causing the spike. Because this is one thing Loki has never done, is love himself. Am I crazy? Y'all
could
are
be.
very quiet.
No, I'm thinking. It could be.
In a perfect world, like last week, in a perfect world, what a great idea.
Yeah, this is a Marvel show,
fantastic, amazing idea. However, just like your prediction last week, this is a Marvel show, and I don't know if we're ever going to the places you want us to go. The places you want to take us are like, man, that would be amazing. That would really be a great moment. But this show is going to be like, no, Loki really wanted to bang himself. We all know that's like how this Marvel works. That's how Marvel works. They're like, we don't want to make it too deep. The kids at home might get confused. So yeah, Loki wanted to smooch himself. Like I'm really afraid that's where we're going.
Sure.
I mean, that's how it works.
I think that's why we're immediately endeared to Mobius, right? Because Mobius says, like, I see a shivering little kid in the cold, and I want to believe that this kid can do better. And Loki says in the beginning that so much of his bluster is bluff because on some level he gets that he's small and this is a tool of the weak to oppress or whatever when he's talking about his scare tactics and why he does the things he does. All of these kind of indicate that the big difference between him and Thor or any other hero is that he doesn't believe he's capable of more and he doesn't believe that he can be more. He doesn't actually believe he's that smart. He doesn't actually believe he's that capable. And he says, yeah, I'm smart. Yeah, I'm the best Loki. And it's all fake. But if he believes Sylvie is all those things, then he believes he is all those things. And that means he's going to go from B-list material to A-list material because that's the piece that was missing.
The confidence. The inward confidence rather than the outward confidence. Yeah. Could be.
I mean, I love that idea, and hopefully that is kind of the vibe we get. I'm really curious where this series goes based on the, things that happened, the post credits. There's a lot to dissect in this episode. That is, no matter which Loki we get, there's a lot happening in his world right now.
But you think they just want to bang each other?
No, look, I don't know what I think. I mean, at first it was obvious.
Yeah, I definitely got thrown for a loop. I don't know what I think anymore.
Yeah, like the obviously at the end of the previous episode, the reason everyone was like, "Oh, something's up," and they were like holding hands. At the time, I didn't think at all. I didn't think like, "Oh yeah, they definitely are like trying to bang."
You just thought it was end of the world, last moment type deal.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know what I thought. I just was like, "Oh, interesting." And it wasn't until more like Mobius was like, "You were in love with yourself." Was I like, "Is that what was happening there?" It never occurred to me that was what was going on.
Sure.
Until Owen Wilson was like, "Wow, you want to bang yourself? Crazy!" Like it never occurred to me that that's what was happening. Wow.
He almost said that, by the
way.
Yeah, did you guys catch that where he says "how" instead of "wow"? I think it's "how."
How are you gonna bang yourself? That's weird.
Yeah.
Right? Like that was what was gonna happen. Yeah. And it wasn't until he brought it up that I was like, "Oh, is that what was going? Is that the takeaway?" So I originally very much like Bronze thought that scene where they were holding hands, it was him just being like, he saw something in her. And I don't know if it was a friendship between the two, but it was the first time he cared about anyone other than himself. I think that was the vibe we're supposed to get. And so that's what I took away from it. But, the rest is just jokes. I don't, I obviously wouldn't sleep with myself.
Wait, so there's an important question here too. JP, would you sleep with female variant JP?
No, because I'll go with first impression. I thought it was weird as shit when they're like, wait a minute. Is this actually like, my mind immediately goes like, is that incestual? I don't know. Right? Like, that's where my mind went. It was like,
that's just like your puritanical hangups, man.
Is that morally correct? I don't know if I can do that. That's where my brain went.
Like, what is, stop being such a prude and
my mind
do
goes,
it with yourself.
Is Twitter going to cancel these folks? I don't know. I don't know how they're going to get out of this.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. That's what Thor does. And by Thor, I mean Loki. That's what Loki does. It makes you think of, is it weird if you want to bang your alternate dimension self? Right?
No.
The big question.
It's not weird. It's not weird. The concept of an alternate dimension self is weird. But like once you've accepted that, nothing's really weird anymore.
Sure.
Once you've met your alternate self, at that point, nothing's weird.
Right. I'm sure that kind of, that's a character development that you can't really relate to unless it's happened. Right?
I have the most depressing answer to this question.
Oh boy, here we go. Let's work it out.
I don't think I'd sleep with variant me because I think I'd be like, I don't like myself that much. Like in the sense that I am a perfectionist, so I always see my own flaws. And I feel like I would see that in variant me. Whereas like, if it's, you don't ever see yourself the way other people see you, Yeah. So I feel like there's probably I would probably just see flaw there. Because my eye is much kinder to other people than it is to me.
I mean,
sure, I get that. Okay.
I think it'd be the same for me, but for different reasons. Like, obviously, variant sexy female Jessie would just be too good for me. She'd be like, I'm gonna pass. Right? Like, I'd try. I would definitely try. And she'd be like, no, I'm good. I'd be like, come on, baby. She'd be like, no, I'm going to go back to my timeline.
Yeah, what if the variant just says no? That's like the truest rejection, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if your own being from another dimension says no, like at that point, what are you really doing? Right?
Yeah, she'd be like, we could just be friends. And I'd be like, cool.
She'd hit you with a friend comment, yeah.
Yeah, I'd go
like,
back.
What do you do
like,
at that point?
Right.
Is that when you just
walk back through my portal?
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, okay, then we're done here.
Yeah.
Like,
maybe that's what happens. Hold
like,
on.
No.
Hold on. Big theory time. Maybe that's why Doctor Strange has a snow shovel and he's wearing some get up. It's because he met his alternate dimension female version and she said, no, I'm not interested. So now he just shovels snow. Just down the middle.
Or he's trying to like shovel to the center of the earth and just lay there and die.
Could be. Might be.
That's how I would feel after I was rejected by myself.
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah.
The center of the earth with me.
Yeah, just dig to the center of the earth. It's over.
I got nothing left now. I rejected myself. Time to go.
Here's another thing to stop goofing around for 1 second. Someone brings up the comment that I've actually thought about as well. Real Mothman in my chat said, Sylvie is definitely not actually a Loki. Do you think there's any credence to, do you think that Sylvie's not actually a Loki? Do you think it's like the daughter of Hela or something? And in that universe, Thor is like the bad
well, let's talk about this really quick because I think this relates to this episode in an important way. So this episode left us with a lot of questions, right? And one of the biggest questions is we get a flashback at the very beginning of Sylvie, young Sylvie, with black hair. At least that's the assumption, right? That's, this could be like a weird, twist thing. But the assumption is black-haired Sylvie is taken to the TVA and the scene that takes place is she's like, oh, and then the Valkyrie defeats the dragon, and then it's taken away. And we don't know why she was taken. There's no explanation of why she was taken. She was just taken. And I, at some point, assumably, sure, she changed her name to Sylvie for reasons that I don't quite know, but that is a big mystery of why she was taken, right? Like, why was this person doing nothing? And maybe, I don't know. It could be anything. It could. I saw a bunch of theories. One was like she wanted to become a Valkyrie. There was one where it was she wanted to be. She was just like a good person, not doing anything. She was like a kid. I saw one that said that the reason why is, it's obviously the right answer. The reason why is they're just pruning all the Lokis from the timeline and throwing them in a place that I will talk about later. # Kang. It's definitely Kang. But like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what side I fall on. I think she's a Loki, but it's a Loki made from or created from a different, like, not a frost giant type deal.
But I thought she said that she knew she was adopted.
Did
she say that on the train?
She said they didn't tell you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Which indicates that she knew that she was.
Yeah. Then maybe she's just straight up a Loki. Maybe that's a closed case.
Well, okay, so I know last episode I posited 2 different theories. One was that, like, she's this entire last episode has been under she's enchanted Loki, which was wrong. Okay, can't be perfect all the time. The other thing I was saying is one of 2 things happened, right? One is that she's been running since she was young, and the second is that she used to be a TVA enforcer, analyst, whatever they're called. Now, and I said that based off of her knowledge of the TVA, her age, and a couple of other things, because it seemed like she had indicated earlier that she was taken when she was young too. And we found out in the last episode that it was indeed that she was taken when she was young, and she spent her entire life trying to scratch out a living while running from these people, which is horrible, because every timeline she went to, she saw it get destroyed, which is that's gotta feel horrible. She was like, everywhere I went, I caused a branch, and every place I went, they neutralized the timeline. That has to feel, there's probably some guilt associated with that, which explains why she's so different than like our Loki, right?
Right.
But I think that might also breed resentment for the name, because so much of why her life is shitty has to do with nothing other than she's Loki and she's not supposed to be like this. And one of the questions that remains unanswered is like, well, what did you do that caused the branch? She was playing with toys. What did she do that caused the branch? I think
that's
clue.
Fascinating, yeah.
Other than
that's
just
going to be a big twist. Well,
so I mean, I don't think that I think that has a lot to do with why she probably friggin' hates being Loki, is that she didn't really, at least from our perspective, she wasn't really doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, she was just hanging out.
A lot of people are saying that, well, it's because she's a girl that makes her different than the other Lokis who are all guys. But if that was the case, wouldn't they just have shown up at like the moment she was born? Yeah.
Well, then,
at birth, they would have been like, nope, and snatched her away. So, like, that doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. There's something.
We're getting into a popular time travel theory here on if you could go and kill someone, when's the best point to do it? Yeah.
I mean, I have like, and this is why I'm just gonna like, let's shocking conclusion of this episode. Well, big thing is we get to see the 3 timekeepers, and they look dope. They're super cool. The one guy looked like the Lorax, which was hilarious.
Yes, that was yeah. I thought they looked. I didn't get enough time before what you're about to say happened to really be like, do I like Oh, it doesn't matter what I think about them now at this point.
The minute they showed up, I was like, this is some fake bullshit. Like, because they looked fake.
Yeah.
And
I definitely
think that
said,
was
like,
part
this
of
is
it.
Wizard of the Oz shit.
I was like, oh, look at these fake ass. Yeah, the minute they showed up, I was like, nah, these are fake. And so, yes, of course. Yeah.
I have written in my notes at number 1, Timekeeper's logo change, because I would like to. There was a point where Jesse said, if the Timekeepers show up on camera, I will personally pay to have all of our logos redone as the 3 timekeepers.
Oh, shit, you're right.
Son of a bitch.
Did not.
Fuck.
He did not say that he did not say they had to be real. He said, if, and I quote, they go into that misty, foggy room and there are 3 alien dudes there, I will personally pay for a logo change. He did not clarify that and that's number 1 on my notes is logo MCU Crew logo change courtesy of Jesse, because you didn't specify they had to be real. You just said they showed 3
You get to be the Lorax
aliens.
one, Bronze. You get to be the one with the mustache.
No,
then.
I'm not I get to choose. I don't want dibs
I get to choose. You're the mustache. You're the mustache one.
No, I want to be the slightly cool looking one.
Nope. I'm so sorry. You're the Lorax. If I'm paying for it, it's my money.
This is bullshit.
There's your monkey paw, Bronze. There you go. You got what you wanted. Now be your Lorax.
Wait, so then which one are you going to be?
I don't know. What the other one that like isn't the cool one and isn't the Lorax. The one who had to pay for a logo change. The one of the 3 that definitely got suckered into paying for a logo change. That's who I am. That's the one I am.
I got to go back and look to look at them real quick. Wait, why is it so hard to find the image of them? What the hell? I just
because they're not real. They're not real, bro.
I'm just getting the statues.
They never were. Anyway, while you look,
yeah.
Hey, guess what? They weren't real.
I agree
Spoilers.
with EOD. It has to be in order, because that's what would make sense.
So in order, you're the like I said, you're the mustache one. JP is the guy in the middle, and I'm the other guy who had one line and was never on screen. The guy was like, "I'm also here," and then like was never around. I'm that guy. I'm the guy who's like, "And I too have thoughts on the matter." Yeah. That is correct. I am also one of the 3.
Apparently, by the way, I don't know if you guys caught this, but after they do their little fight and they cut off the head of one of the timekeepers, if you turn up the volume, apparently you can hear them saying "see you soon" from the animatronic head or something like that. I didn't go back and do it, but I think it was I think that's confirmed.
They all talk afterwards as well before they short circuit. They all have a few lines of dialogue. I don't remember what they say, but they all talk to him as well.
Yeah.
Like when they're laughing, they're like, ah, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah, they say "see you soon," like "see you soon." It's long and drawn out. So I don't know if that's indicative of anything apart from like someone's definitely playing with them. I don't know who it is. Could be Kang, but
all right, let's get to this thing. So I'm telling you, it's good. It's 100% Kang. This is our first introduction to Kang. I'm ready for it. As this scene ends and they defeat the timekeepers. By the way, what was Agent B-15, B-52?
Yeah, B-15.
I guess is alive. They didn't really show her getting zapped.
Right.
But she wasn't pruned. But they did punch her. Like, for the biggest badass in the TVA, she got, like, one shot.
Punched? Yeah.
She threw a sword, and they were like, "Bwop!" And that was it. I guess to take her out of the fight for cool reasons. I don't know.
Well, the focus was immediately on Loki and Sylvie in that moment.
Yeah, I just think it would have been cool if she was, like, in the background, like, fighting off a wave of dudes. That would have been dope.
Has she won a fight? Loki collared her. She got bamboozled by Sylvie. I don't think we've actually seen her win a fight.
She won the opening fight versus Loki. Cool. Remember when they're in the desert and she hits him with the like speed stick or whatever the fuck it's called?
Okay. I feel like we've seen her get bamboozled 3 times since then.
I guess. You're right. That does suck.
Yeah.
She seemed like the badass.
She's having a hard time.
Yeah, she has gotten her ass kicked multiple times.
Yeah.
But then, plot twist. Not only is Mobius vaporized and pruned,
which I didn't expect.
The minute they walked out of that portal thing, I was like, oh no, here we go. Here it comes. But also Loki. Spoilers, Loki gets pruned.
Didn't expect that either. Those were both just like...
That's the one. The minute they did that camera angle where it's like this.
You can't see behind it.
Yeah, you can't see, like the whole frame is taken up by 2 people. I was like, one of them's dead. One of them's instantly dead.
Yeah.
So I was like, they did not run. Renslayer is like down the ground. I was like, nah, she's about to pop up and be like, what? And so, yeah, he gets pruned.
Can I express a gripe?
Obviously, yes.
Sure.
Always.
Yeah. Okay. When Mobius lifts Renslayer's temp pad and is going through the footage, did anybody else just think it was so corny how they're recording that girl and she's like, telling this thing, and then all of a sudden Renslayer's head pops into frame and she's looking at her own camera like,
I can't believe she said that.
Yeah, like she literally looks into the camera like, this is my own camera that I set up here. We've got to delete this. I was like, what is this?
What's even funnier is that then Mobius is like, hold on, is that my friend? Scroll, magnify.
And then
he's like, hold on, let me get in here.
Her face looks so derpy. Her face is like, and I'm like,
it was a little tropey.
Like, why do you need to enhance her face? You can clearly see it. What are you expecting to see? Her being like, it isn't actually me.
Look, that was just Marvel being one with the kids and the memes, and they wanted to catch her in 4K. They just wanted to catch her in 4K. Yeah. That's all that was. 100%.
That was their Star
100%.
Wars moment. Like, children won't understand what's going on, so we really have to hit this home.
Yeah.
Like, really make sure they get it. And it's like, yeah. If he would have just said her name too, that would have been the trifecta. She looks, he scrolls in, and then like says her name out loud, and then he like looks at the camera, and is like, it was her.
Yeah.
Then we would have been all right, we get it.
Her phone, and you could have just had her voice be like, terminate the agent or whatever, and then have 2 guards come on, and then he would have known because it's her phone. But they were like, no, we have to have her walk over there, look into the camera, and be like, and then hit the button. Like,
yeah. Why? It was definitely one of those moments where I was watching and like they killed Mobius and I was actually pissed off. And then Loki said the things of like, I've died so many times. It's like, well, he's dead. Like he's about to die in the next 5 seconds. There's no way that he would say such a thing and they wouldn't kill him off. But then they hit you with the after credits scene, which they haven't done so far in the show. And I really wonder how many people watched and did not see that scene. And then later read about it somewhere online or on Twitter or something like that and had to go back to watch it. But that after credit scene, I feel like this entire show has been, turning the crazy meter, and then they just cranked it. And now we're in the machine is starting to like be a little bit, strained in terms of how much crazy they're pumping into the show. Cause it was absolutely bananas. With what?
Well, if you remember last episode, we talked about the fact that famed character actor Richard
Grant about it. Yep.
Was listed as part of the cast, and we were like, who is this guy? What is his character? Why is he in this show? He has no credit listed to his name. We were like, he's in 3 episodes worth of this show. We are 3 episodes from the end. He has to show up. And of course, he shows up at the end of this one as which I think we said probably old man Loki.
Right.
King Loki. Yeah,
we didn't expect it in this way. We were definitely like, oh my God, he's 100% showing up as Loki. And we have some like pretty iconic Lokis.
Yep.
Except for Gator Loki. I don't know anything about Gator Loki.
Gator Loki is actually very iconic. And there's a very interesting thing about him that I hope they do in the show. I hope they do it in the show.
Because of Frog Thor?
Well, no, that's also very cool. That it could mean Toad Thor is a real thing.
Because of I'm
Here's
very
the thing,
excited
though.
about that.
In the comics and my post-episode musings, in the comics, old man Loki or King Loki or whatever you want to call the Loki on the right here in this image doesn't talk. However, alligator Loki speaks for him.
Amazing.
And so I'm hoping that voice, which we did not see it credited to any person because the camera was on Loki, I think it was the alligator talking.
Holy shit.
I think it was the alligator speaking. I think that's why they're going this crazy with it. And I read that. I was like, holy shit, if they actually do that, that's bananas.
That would be so good if the alligator, the reason why he's like, they're holding him is because he's like, I speak on behalf of the three of us. That'd be, if Richard E. Grant, who is literally on screen.
He's the voice of the crocodile.
If his voice comes out of that alligator, I will be like, alligator. Holy crap.
I hope so. I hope that's the voice.
I love that his little crown barely sits on his head.
It makes me think, after watching so many TV shows and documentaries of like how crazy Hollywood is, particularly when it comes to having animals on set and like the rights around protecting said animals and everything. That's got to be insane. The fact that they put that goddamn little Loki thing on him, that's got to be outright
It's
absurd.
Barely hanging on there for its life, and I love it because you can tell that this reptile was just not having it that day. And that's when I was convinced it was a real animal, because I feel like if it was done in post, they would have centered it. Maybe I'm wrong, but like it adds like a level of like jank and charm that it's like barely hanging on his head and is kind of like approaching his eye. I love that.
Yeah. Oh, I
love it so much.
Someone said that's no crocodile nor an alligator. That's a Loki dial. And that's not canon.
I mean, obviously, if there's Throg, right, the Thor frog,
it's CG.
There has to be Loki, right?
Yeah.
Gator Loki. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know if that's CG. I'd have to go back and like look at it in motion. I don't think it's in CG.
I just assumed that if it was CG, the crown would be centered. I could see it maybe being like a animatronic, and that's why it's hard to center that. I just feel like if they would perfect it if it was CG. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they would.
From a legality point of view, there's probably a lot of red tape around the idea of having a child actor hold an alligator of that size. So that could just be CG. It very well could be.
Right. I think so. The characters that we do see on the screen,
they're credited by the way. On IMDb.
Yeah. I mean, from left to right, obviously there's Loki. Then there's Boastful Loki, which is essentially supposed to be like if Loki was Thor.
Yep.
Like that's the vibe. If Loki like lived Thor's life. And there's Kid Loki, which I don't know what Kid Loki is in this context, but in the series, Kid Loki, or the comics, Kid Loki was like one of the, we talked about this before, the same, I don't know if it's the Young Avengers storyline, but it's like, when Loki like takes the form of a kid, right? When he like is shattered and becomes a kid for a little bit, and then he like stays a kid for a while because he's like into it.
Yeah.
And then you have like old school, literally old school Loki. Just like the Loki from like, the same way we got with WandaVision when they were in their old costumes.
For Halloween.
Mm-hmm. That same vibe.
It's a lot. For one image, it's a lot to kind of like, if you showed someone this right after the first Avengers movie, people would be like, nah, that's not real. That's not a real thing. If they skipped everything between the first Avengers movie and the post-credit scene of Loki episode 4, there's no way. That's not real. I don't believe that.
So here's my question. Do you think they're going to commit to like, oh, this is alternate timeline Loki? Or do you think they're going to be like, oh no, I was at a costume party when I got lifted by the TVA.
I hope they
and
commit.
That's wime in these underoos.
No, I think it's going to be commit.
I hope they commit too. But they didn't with WandaVision. They were like, oh, I'm a time witcher. And I was like,
yeah, they're going to commit. They're going to 100% commit. I don't know where they're at, but they're definitely, I don't know why they're here, I should say, but they're definitely in New York. Because you can see the Avengers Tower, which is not
in the background's destroyed.
In the background on the right hand side.
Let me pitch you an idea. This is what this whole episode's been about for me. I've been waiting for this. Let me pitch you this idea.
Okay, here's the idea.
Here's the Jesse Cox theory, part 2. I'm totally right about Kang, by the way. All right, anyway.
Let me take this off.
If you know the comics, even if you don't know the comics, even if you don't care, Kang has a little kind of like snow globe world, right? That's like kind of his vibe. If you see in the background of whatever that movie was it Ant-Man? Maybe it was Endgame, where they're flying through and you see the little dome city, right? The way that city's separated is into biomes. And those biomes is like he collects things and stores them there. And could it not be that pruning is just collecting? Like, I'm removing all these things from the timeline because I said last time Kang's whole end game is that he's trying to like create the timeline where he wins, and that's why there's only one sacred timeline, because he needed, like, it doesn't make any sense that the Avengers are allowed to travel through time unless Kang is like, well, of course, those fools, right? And so he's letting them do all these things, and then all of these, like, all the Lokis, because the Lokis are unpredictable. He's like, well, if I just can remove them, because the one Loki is dead in my timeline, so any other Lokis, right? Oh, crap! Maybe the whole point is Loki, who is not a hero, ends up being the one thing that can stop someone like Kang, right? Because he is that unpredictable, and he is that person who's like, oh, maybe he does find himself to be a hero, right? Instead of being like the crappy guy that he is. And his unpredictability is why Kang is like, if I store them away, I can keep them out of the timeline. And then the one in my official timeline, he's dead, so it's not a problem. And so that's why they're all in this New York, because this is a destroyed New York, which is one of the timelines that like Kang has in his little biomes that he keeps. Because in the comics, dude has like Egypt in there.
He's got a lot.
He has, yeah. If anyone can find an image on the internet of like a top down,
he's got like different versions of himself, of like different. Yeah.
So I think that's. I would say that's a solid theory. That the reason all of them are there is because pruning isn't removing someone from reality. Pruning is you just send them to like one of the many weird biomes that Kang has.
I'm trying to go back. Is this when it was? Yes. So Jonathan Majors, who, if you've seen Lovecraft Country, is great in it. He is who has been cast as Kang and was confirmed to be in the next Ant-Man Quantumania movie.
Sure.
This, however, was back in September of 2020. I think that they cast him so early because he's going to pop up in this show. And I think it was a misleading cast to be like, oh yeah, he's in this movie.
I don't know if he's going to be in the show, but I know they're going to name drop. Like, it feels like this is very similar. I mean, I would be down with that.
Why would you cast someone a year out from, or 2 years or 3 years out from the actual movie coming out? I think that's a 2022 thing, like a summer 2022.
This is like when they started name dropping Thanos early on, right? Like, it was a hint that he existed, and then you would get little things, then eventually he'd start showing up in end credit stuff, and then eventually he's the big bad.
Yeah.
And I definitely, like, they could film a stinger, like a separate stinger with him at the end of the last episode. There's, like, I'm going to try and find this, but literally there is famous top-down views of Kang's city, and it looks like there is a, like, this looks like a thing that a collector would keep of his, like, weird time conquests. And if you're a time villain and your whole villainy thing is time, setting up something that can control time and then giving it the authority of like, oh, well, we're the good guys, is such a devious plan. It's perfect. This like has to be where we're going.
So I think this might be the image. It's called the Chronopolis, by the way.
Yes. Because, chrono, time.
Is wink. This it? This is what we see.
Oh, that's what we see in the background. Let me see if I can find you.
There's a trailer shot of Mobius speeding past the Sphinx, also the ship landing. Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, we don't think Mobius is dead, right? There's no way. He's just off. He's off in another pruned area, maybe the same area. Yeah, this is in the quantum zone.
This is what I'm talking about, JP. I'm gonna stick this in chat for you.
Okay.
This is like the famous comic view of it. It's like a 2-page view of Chronopolis. You can see that like around the main central tower spire area are all the things he's pruned from time. And I'm going to use the word prune because that's exactly what is happening. You can see he's got Mayan pyramids and ancient Egyptian pyramids. He's got like the famous cathedrals. He's got literally like temples and monuments. And like he is, even though I think it's incredibly funny that most of it looks like Earth things, which is very funny. I'm like, he is clearly collecting things. And I think one of the fantastic additions would be like, I need to get rid of these Lokis, but how do I do that? Throw them in my little collection, in my menagerie.
Do you think he?
I have a twist on that.
Well, do you think he collected New York, Jesse? Where the Avengers Tower fell? Okay, yeah. What's your take, Bronze?
Well,
or twist rather.
I mean, I feel like this is the trash bin. You know, I agree with Jesse, but like with the twist in that this is the stuff that didn't make the cut because it's hideous. And for somebody who's like into a collection, to me, what it looked like was like a garbage. Like I didn't like any of the stuff, so I sent it all here. This doesn't fit the grand vision. The buildings are ruined. If you look at the background, like it's like all of the timelines and stuff that he didn't like, that didn't fit the grand vision, the variants he doesn't like that don't fit it, everything that doesn't fit gets thrown into this garbage bin. Because I feel like if it was a collection, he would, I don't know, Kang just seems like the type of dude that keeps his Funko Pops in the boxes with plastic protectors around them, you know, in alphabetical order or with numbers. I feel like this is like this one's imperfect, into the trash, you know?
Could be.
I love that a lot. I think that's because he wouldn't view the Lokis as worth keeping. He would he would just, the pruning is like removing them from, again, like when you prune a plant, for example, right? You're like throwing out the bad bits.
Yes. And you know what, Jesse? I love that you brought that up because the word pruning has bothered me from the beginning. So like we've got the melter stick, right? And it does exactly what it says it does in Ragnarok. It melts people, right? Pruned people don't really shrivel up or prune. They just kind of disappear. And yeah, they disappear from like a certain point, but there's no like actual pruning taking place. So to me, I agree with you that it's like they're pruning the branches of a bonsai. That's why they don't fit the grand vision anymore. Especially when you look at the timeline and how they're cutting off all these branches, that's where I think pruning really like makes sense, is like, oh yeah, no, we're not deleting you. You don't fit. You're going in the recycling bin. And that's probably like an apocalyptic hellscape where everything just destroys itself, because that means there's whole timelines pruned where the aliens won in New York, or, you know, things like that. There would be horrible things there. Some okay people, like the Lokis and Mobius, but like probably a lot of awful things too.
And this goes again. The TVA is 100% in Chronopolis because Chronopolis is without time, and as we know, everything in that sort of space between time is unaffected by things like the Infinity Stones.
Right.
And so this is like
here's the thing, though. Does this all get revealed in the final episode? Like that's so much to just to put out there, right? That's so much exposition to just thrust on the viewer. All of that.
Well, I mean, they did say in this one that, and this is why I think we said we're getting a Loki season 2, right? So like, is. They don't have to explain everything. All they have to do is say who runs the TVA, because that's the thing. The whole point of this season is like the TVA exists. we need to speak with the timekeepers, and they are not real at all. Someone else is in charge. Who is running the TVA? That's the mystery of this season. And that's all they have to reveal. Everything else doesn't matter truly, because it's all fluff to like what happens to Loki. Loki could literally end up stuck in this garbage bin, as Bron said, and that would be a fine ending because like there's a season 2. He can get, there's like a way, if Mobius is like, I can help you, or the season could end and they're like, oh, we're trapped here, and then Sylvie shows up and is just like, yo, let's go. I found out about Kang or whatever, and that's fine.
Could be. I read a comment sometime after the show, going back to Mobius, that says, or that was along the line of thinking that the reason why Ravonna always has that stuff in her office is because they keep like mind erasing or whatever on Mobius, and he keeps bringing her all that stuff, and which is why she always says, oh, that's my other favorite. Or it's just different variants of Mobius that they keep bringing back into the TVA. Or it's Kang.
Is Mobius getting near Automata? Is that what? Is he our 9S?
Could be.
But then why prune him this time? Just because he's out, it keeps happening, and it's dangerous
he
now?
knew. He figured it out, right? Like that's what happens. He gets pruned every time he figures out what's really going on.
Mm.
But he's so good at his job that she keeps him around and gets rid of everyone else. Kind of like what she did with, was that C?
So are you telling me there's a reality where there's a bunch of Mobiuses as well?
I don't necessarily think there's multiple variants of Mobius that they're bringing in. I think it's the same Mobius that's just having his memory wiped somehow. But they haven't really introduced the idea of like a memory wipe thus far. So I don't know.
I mean, I'm curious what... So when he shows up and all the Lokis are like, hey, come with us if you want to live, is the implication then that you can die in that area they're at? So is it like they send them there to slowly waste away?
Or just get rid of them. Maybe it's the type of thing where you can't truly get rid of... Or maybe it complicates things if you straight up kill someone, right? In the universe. But if you just exile them to somewhere where you don't have to think about them, then it's fine. They just exist and you don't have to think about it.
I can't get over the fact that we are 2 episodes away from the end.
Yeah.
So in 2 episodes, they have to show us
a lot.
So also another thing, there's a scene from the trailer where a boat descends from the sky.
Yep.
That has to be this place, which I think goes to show that this boat, like, that's another thing that they were that like it's a collection thing, right? Like
that ghost.
I don't want that anymore.
The ghost, the boat is like a DB Cooper type deal, where it's got a bunch of like real world phenomena and mystery around it. And so the idea that
is it the
it's like the pirate mystery,
the Philadelphia
Phantom
experiment
boat.
kind of boat,
maybe something like that. Yeah. A lot of people have pinned it to being like a DB Cooper style, unexplained thing that the MCU decides to like say is explained.
But I mean, either way, we have the boat scene.
Yes. Yeah.
We also have like President Loki.
Which I think is next episode.
Gold Loki.
I don't know where Gold Loki comes in. I feel like that's a throwaway scene.
I mean, maybe that's the last episode. Maybe that's the last scene of the last episode.
Of what? Him being on back again in a proper timeline where he like takes over or something?
It might not be the proper timeline, but like he's like I truly have no.
He rules over Asgard while Thor is gone. That's the start of Thor 3, right? Like Loki is.
I mean, you're right.
Well,
he doesn't do it as Loki.
He doesn't do it as Loki. He does it as Odin. Yeah, you're right.
So there's at least 3 major from the trailer of this series scenes that have not taken place yet, and I'm very curious what that means for these episodes because.
Let me ask you this. Do you think, and this is for both of you, if the idea is, the old Marvel adage when it comes to these Disney Plus shows of, where it starts and where it ends. It doesn't necessarily matter what happens in between unless you want to know. Does he make it back to like the MCU timeline in some form?
I don't
at the end of this season.
I don't think it relates to this show in a way that this show is different from the last two are series that are one and done. And they're
origin stories.
They're like, we're going to tell you a story that you don't need to see in order to enjoy the movies because nothing changes between them.
Yeah.
Right? Like there is no big change in these characters. And the next time you see them in a movie, they will be right where they left off in the last movie. We'll have Cap back. We'll have Falcon, Sam will be Cap, and Wanda will have moved on and will now be doing a whole different thing, like a Scarlet Witch thing. I think that Loki, because they've announced it's more than one season, I think Loki has the potential to not do that right away. I think in the end, the only difference is that Loki can have the possibility of showing back up in a movie, because the only thing I'll say is certain is that Loki will be fine. If that makes any sense. Like Loki will appear in a movie because the last time we saw Loki in a movie, Loki was fine.
Sure. So, yeah.
And then they can play with like, well, what were you up to? And then Loki can be in any position because we know the last time an average movie viewer saw Loki vanished with the Tesseract. And so now there's any possibility where the MCU can say like, oh, he got up to this crazy thing. And then, Thor can be like, Loki, what are you doing? But like all the things that happen in between aren't necessary, but it's very good setup and expanded universe building for something else. So I'm really curious of what that something else is going to be. And if they're going to use Loki as a platform to be like, yo, let's get weird with it. I have no clue.
Yeah. I don't know. Obviously the next two episodes will point us in whatever direction they're going to, and we can kind of extrapolate from there. It definitely, I don't, it's hard for me to predict where the show goes, because if you would never would have thought that they kill off Mobius, air quote, kill off Mobius and Loki in episode 4 of this show, right?
Yeah.
Not something I even considered to be on the table of an occurrence. So I don't know what happens. I think the next show we definitely see that ship. I think that we definitely see President Loki. Couldn't tell you how we get out of there. How we go from that back to the TVA, back to I guess Sylvie's going to have everything explained to her by Renslayer, right? Like that's a thing that's going to happen in some form.
So, I mean, yes, really quickly, here's the official word on a season 2. It was the expectation and the intent that the entire tale would be told this season, but they're open to a season 2. So okay. I would assume that we're going to have an ending then.
Of where okay.
God, whatever the ending is, that's, yeah, that is a lot to do. I'm hoping the last episode is like the hour it should be.
Yeah. Bronze, you were going to jump in?
Well, I was going to say, I'm not sure what Hiddleston's sort of intent with Loki is, because the unfortunate reality of all this is that it doesn't really come down to writing, but it comes down to how long the actors want to play those roles.
Sure.
So I don't know I don't know the guy, so I don't know if he's like, oh yeah, I want to continue playing Loki for the next 10 years. I don't think Marvel or any of the creative directors over there would be opposed to having him stay on as Loki, because he's well loved. He's amazing, right? Like most I feel like most people love him as a character. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a cop out to say that though, but I think there are some realities of it where it's like, well, how long do you want to do that role? Because I felt that trepidation when Benedict Cumberbatch was cast as Doctor Strange. I love him as Doctor Strange. I think he's a perfect casting, but I was like, this guy is a very serious actor. And I feel like at some point he's going to get tired of doing the same role because he seems like one of those guys that likes to be challenged. And the difficulty with casting people like that is that they don't want to do the same easy thing over and over and over again. And that was even something that came up with RDJ. Robert Downey Jr., I think, said during the second Iron Man film that he was already talking about leaving, and basically Marvel threw like a mountain of money at him, right? But he talked about, I think it was during the second Iron Man press junket, where he said he kind of missed doing some other roles and some of the other stuff that he had been doing before, and then had to give all of that up to just be Iron Man full time because the shooting schedule for these films is intense. Like when you're doing when you're in a Marvel franchise, that's basically your life. You have very little time to do other stuff. Marvel and Lord of the Rings are like two of those properties where if you get a role, like you're set for life because you're in for like, a lot of movies, but the downside is like you have to commit several years of your life to it. So I guess I don't know if they're going to pull Loki back into the MCU. I think maybe this is because they've done such a good job with every character's send-off so far, and even giving the audience space to grieve if they want it, Like, I feel like that was definitely Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like, that show, I think, did a really good job of allowing space to, like, finally really say goodbye to Captain America in a meaningful way.
Mm-hmm.
Or Steve Rogers, I should specify. So I'm kind of interested in seeing, like, whether this is going to be the handoff of Loki to another character or leaving it open for Hiddleston to keep doing it, because I haven't looked into whether Hiddleston wants to keep doing it. Because I'm sure, like, there are some of us, if we were to get a role like that, we're like, yeah, next 20 years. But there's other people that they don't want to do that.
Yeah. I mean, that's doing something like that for that amount of time is a lot, right? That's 20 years of your life. Mm-hmm. 20% of your life in a lot of ways. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you there. Let's do this, because I don't think that we can predict where we end up accurately, but I do think we could have fun and think about what is the first opening scene of the next episode? What do we think that is?
Probably that trailer shot where you see the wide shot of the city in the background, right?
Oh, the Rune City, Rune, New York.
Yeah. Although knowing this show, we'll probably get like a little intro hook moment about something totally unrelated.
I'm thinking it's a Mobius prune backstory, or Mobius, abduction TVA episode, like his variant origin.
I can see that.
Of him being on a jet ski or something and like doing something stupid and being, taken by the TVA.
I agree. I think it's going to be definitely a flashback because they've started the last 3 with flashback. Right? Yeah.
Do you think then
or flashback-esque scenes?
Do you think then that means that we're going to see maybe all the scenes that we're seeing of Loki in the different places are just moments for Mobius to show up and prune him?
Oh, it's him pruning all the Lokis.
Backstory. So there's like the Loki who's like, I'm present Loki, and he shows up and just is like, come on. And there's Loki who's like, I rule Asgard Loki, and he's like, come on. And like those are just very similar to DB Cooper. They're just short scenes, but it's all of it's literally all the times that Mobius has had to deal with Loki before, which is why when Loki's like, I'm this and this, and he's like, I know.
It could be
Mobius he's been there since the beginning.
I think that'd be a great way to like tug at the heartstrings of the viewer, right? Of like show all these great interactions that Mobius has had with other versions of Hiddleston Loki, and then not say anything till the end of the episode, and then Mobius like appears or wakes up or shows up at the TVA and acts like nothing is different or changed, and like and then Loki has to like break him again in the final episode or something.
There's also an interesting line that kind of I thought Sylvie was gonna get pruned. I knew someone was gonna get pruned. I didn't think it was gonna be Loki. I thought it was gonna be Sylvie because somewhere in the beginning of the episode, my notes are really bad. I think one of them says something about being destined to lose, and he says, "Oh, but like, look at us. We don't die, we survive. Or you don't die, you survive." He said something about that, and that to me was like such a foreshadowing of like something's gonna happen. I think she's gonna get pruned or something, and we're gonna think that she died, but she survived because that's what she does. Loki survive. They're like cockroaches, and I think don't they actually get compared to cockroaches or something? Because even the TVA talks about them like that. And then when you come over to this dustbin of timelines, like they're like, you know, am I dead? Well, you will be if you don't come with us. It's like maybe even in this world, everything's tearing each other apart and dying, except Loki's because they survive. Because every time we've seen Loki die, and he himself says he's died so many times or whatever, he's alive. He somehow survives. He somehow gets away.
Could be. I think one of us has to be right in some form.
I mean, honestly, yeah, there's only so many options left at this point.
Yeah.
But I do think that I had the exact same thought when Loki gets pruned, and I was like, they did not just give a speech about how Loki's live and for him to die right now. There's no way. So I was like, he better show up again. And then it immediately happened. Like it immediately happened.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I was on the exact same page.
Right. We'll see. I think it's very telling that we are hooked on the mystery of this show. And when we talked about Black Widow, we're like, yeah, it's going to be a Black Widow action film. And like, they're going to do Black Widow things and like spy things. And it's fine.
I feel like it's going to be Spider-Man and Doctor Strange where you see this cast probably be like, ah, you know, like I feel like Black Widow are going to be like, oh, good. Yeah. Cause I was just seeing like, I was watching some of our old episodes and I was like, maybe we hit our stride or maybe this is the most excited we've ever been for a show.
Yeah.
I don't know which.
I think it's definitely the most excited we've been for the show. I think it's also the type of thing like with Marvel going down this path of being weird, when you have these parallel things, kind of like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where they, you know, grounded in action reality, in an action movie reality. Then you have Black Widow, which is grounded in an action world reality. By comparison, they're kind of fucking boring. Like they're a little mundane compared to what's happening in the rest of the MCU. And I feel like the entire time I'm going to be watching that on Friday, I'm going to be like, all right, so I wonder if there's a Black Widow variant. Like, I wonder if like Gwyneth Paltrow has become Black Widow at one point or something like that in another world. Like, who'd be good? I wonder who that would work. Anyways, let's go back to watching her kill people. Oh, there's Taskmaster. That's cool. That's interesting, right? Like, I don't know if it's going to have enough of the mystery or whatever to draw me in at this point, because I'm so invested in like the weirdness of Loki and the idea that we could be like, oh yeah, Loki died, but he got sent to an alternate reality that's filled with other versions of Loki, and there's a talking crocodile that's actually voiced by one of the other characters who's a major actor, and like he's a silent character. But yeah, Black Widow can like choke people out. That's cool, I guess. I don't know. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it. I'm sure I'll be here next Monday talking about how much it was great and like a return to that action Winter Soldiery combat, yada yada yada. But it's also the type of thing where it's like it's kind of mundane. But maybe there's an audience for that, right? Like maybe people that aren't watching Loki because that's too crazy for them, they can get behind a Scarlett Johansson in some tight leather pants, kicking people's asses with cool guns.
I feel like the reason why Loki is so approachable is because of Hiddleston and his like the way he acts as like sort of just like that goofball energy. It translates very well to, and now we're gonna get weird with it, right? Like it's fun to watch him deal with the like insanity around him because he has this sort of like, you know, he not only goes with it, but he also won't tolerate it. And I think it's very enjoyable to watch this character go through this kind of stuff, and then to have an actor who can actually do these, you know, ridiculous scenes and do them so well, I think it goes a long way to sell everything that's happening on screen. So
sure,
I'm excited to see what the majority of people think. But I will be real, a lot of the reactions are like, "It's pretty good."
That
and that's
energy
good. It is.
It's so rare, but so great. You know who else has that energy? And I'm glad is in the MCU? Martin Freeman. I'm not the biggest fan of the Hobbit trilogy, but Martin Freeman as Bilbo channels that energy of like, this is chicanery, and somehow I'm very relatable to the audience, and I'm going along with this chicanery, but I'm not okay with it. And he also brings that to the MCU, where he's kind of like, this is chicanery, but I'm gonna go along with it, but it's not okay with any of it. And it's like him and Hiddleston both have that, and I love that.
Sure,
I love that about them. But you're right, that's rare. That's a rare quality.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those actors who, very much like Robert Downey Jr., it's like, pay him whatever, keep him in the role as long as you need him to be there, because what he brings to the role is something that is like, it literally took 3 movies for Thor to find himself in a way that I'm like, I like this Thor. I want to see more of this Thor. I sat through 2 movies of a boring ass Thor, and now we have a Thor that I really want to see more of. It's that good, like, to have the Loki character show up from like moment 1 and be like, that's amazing. What perfect casting.
Yeah.
That's, a lot of these characters,
it's hard to do.
It takes them a while to come around.
Yeah.
Like, it takes a little bit for them to find who they are, and they found someone who's like nailed it right away. You keep that person, whatever it takes.
Well, it's the RDJ effect, right? Like it's the Iron Man effect of seeing him on screen and be like, nope, that's it. That's perfect casting, perfect theme, perfect everything. So,
yeah, I still haven't warmed up to Captain Marvel. I'm sorry, audience. I feel like eventually I might, but I haven't.
Have you watched that movie recently? A second time or a third time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been going through them chronological order, and I'm sorry. I just wasn't.
The first time I was kind of like, that was fine. The second viewing, I actually thought she was much better than the first time. I don't know if that was me convincing myself that she was much better or if I genuinely thought that, but it's whatever. I don't mind it.
I will say that I didn't have a problem with her. I just thought the movie was like, I don't know. I'm not a fan of movies. This might be why I'm not too like hyper excited about Black Widow, is because like I'm not ever excited about movies that are like, it takes place between 2 other things.
Yeah, you want a continuation rather than a No, I'm
so
with
to
you.
like tell us a story of Captain Marvel in the 80s is like, or 90s or whatever it was, is like cool.
Yeah, same thing happened with Wonder Woman, right? Wonder Woman 1984. I had the same exact feeling around it. Thought it was.
No, I can handle a Wonder Woman origin story where they throw her into like World War I is dope. Like that was cool as shit. I was like, this is fun. This is fun. But like the 1980 Wonder Woman was like, dude, that movie sucked. That movie was terrible.
So bad. I'm sorry.
It was so bad.
It was so bad. It was so bad. And what's that filter they always put over the Middle East where it's like, let's turn everything red because this is a little awful hellscape. A hellscape of just, oh my God, that movie was so.
Those are my 2 favorite filters. Middle East is always red. India is always yellow. Those are the filters.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're like,
what is
yellow
that?
filter on India.
That's Hollywood.
I couldn't tell you.
I lived there for 10 years. I can promise you that's not what it looks like.
It's not yellow there all the time?
So weird. No. And oh my God.
They also do.
We can't get me started on it.
Yeah, Breaking Bad, I think in a lot of ways started that, but or at least was very big on that in terms of the different coloring of wherever you're at. Anyways, I forgot what I was gonna say. Now,
you please tell me you were gonna try and tell us. Like, I actually kind of liked Wonder Woman.
No,
being a huge hero and some guy you met. We're not doing this.
Oh, they also.
Because I'm just saying the decision should be easy. Powers or that guy must have a magical dick. Okay, I'm done.
But it wasn't even.
Here's the
time out. It wasn't even his dick. Time out.
I know, that's so rapey. It's so weird, guys, because it's like he's in somebody else's body. What's your end game? No, I'm sorry. I don't even know. I gotta stop.
I don't even know what we're talking about anymore at this point. I don't know what just happened. We jumped off a bridge
Wonder
somewhere.
Wonder Woman gets with the dude that has the soul question mark. Never really explained.
Right. Okay. I know. I know where you're going.
Literally. Now here's the crazy thing: we, the audience, see the actor. Yeah. She clearly doesn't see him that way. She sees another dude. It's so weird. Yeah. It's so weird. It's an unnecessary plot point. It is so. Meanwhile, we have another whole thing where it's like, yeah, and then a lady turns into a cheetah that is not even dealt with really. She just becomes an animal because whatever. And then like another, literally, the way she saves the world is with a speech. And like people have died at that point. Dudes have like killed a guy, shot a person. Someone was like, I hope you have a heart attack and die. Literally, she's like, why can't we all just get along? And everyone's like, the world's in chaos. It's nonsense. It's a nonsense movie. Nonsense.
I will say this.
Crazy.
Thank you.
I want to say Chitara, but that's a different IP. Cheetah or whatever her fucking name is. Not Kristen Stewart. What's her name that played her in the movie? She was great. And Pedro Pascal was good. Kristen Wiig. There you go. I forgot which
Kristen Wiig.
She was great in that movie.
Kristen Wiig is like Tom Cruise. They're the same person in every movie. They just take different roles. There's some actors who get away with it. Kristen Wiig is always Kristen Wiig. She does the same like Kristen Wiigisms. She does the same like it's fine. She's a very good actor, but she's just it's like, oh, that's Kristen Wiig who works with her.
Yeah.
Like Kristen Wiig met Wonder Woman. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like that's just the way it is. And like bless, she's very funny. She's a great comedian, but like, she's Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
She's the exact same thing in everything. Seth Rogen is another great example. Seth Rogen is always just Seth Rogen.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I feel like movies have stopped casting Seth Rogen and now cast Seth Rogen's laugh. Right? Like Seth Rogen's laugh gets a side contract.
Well, yeah, I mean, like different contract, but yeah.
Yeah, different contract entirely. Yeah.
Seth's laugh is on the set. Quiet. Seth's laugh is on the set. Places.
Yep. The one other thing, I found this while we were discussing all this stuff, and then we'll probably wrap up the show. Golden Apple Comics on their Instagram page posted this yesterday as old Jonathan Majors strolled by the shop to purchase an issue of the Avengers that featured Kang.
Nice. I was doing a little cursory research, and Kang, definitely there's a whole storyline in the comics about Kang and the timekeepers, and there's like apparently like a whole plot line about Kang and Limbo, and another version of Kang called Immortus, which is like
there's a lot of Kangs. There's variants of Kang, and it's like the Council of Ricks, essentially.
Yeah, and of course Kang wants to kill the other Kang. So like there's definitely a lot happening here when it comes to the connector between the two.
Yep.
So I, for one, am excited to see what they do with this.
There was also no, never mind. I was going to say that Marvel updated a blog post, but no, this is just the Kang character bio that exists on marvel.com.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think let me ask, let's end on this. Are we going to get a Jonathan Winters in makeup with a blue face and a condom wrapped around his head and a green suit?
No, we will get blue skin though.
You think blue skin?
100% blue skin. We'll get blue skin. I don't know if he's going to look like, I don't think he's going to have this ridiculous 70s, like flowing green outfit. He may have some of the armor, a purple tinted armor.
He looks like Devo. Right? Like a green Devo member. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna, you know, it'll very much like how Thanos, his armor had a hint of how Thanos kind of looked in the comics.
Yeah.
Even his shoulder pads had like a vibe that, like, yeah, that's kind of how he looked. I think it's very similar to that, where he's gonna have an armor that looks pretty similar, but isn't gonna be, you know, that. He's not gonna have like thigh high boots on, and he's like, "Hello, it's me, Kang the Conqueror." It's not gonna happen. He's not gonna like flaunt himself as he walks out to like, "Welcome, Loki." As like struts out in his giant heels.
I can't imagine Jonathan knowing what I've seen of him in Lovecraft Country. There's going to be none of that, right? It's going to be very serious, most likely. There wasn't much comedy in that show, so I don't know if he has like that Marvel, you know, Marvel quality to him, though a lot of that is writing, where he can like bounce between, like Thanos didn't really have comedy to him. Thanos was always pretty serious. He never really said anything with a comedic nature to it, so I don't know if they'll give that to to Kang.
He's the villain, and he's not like a goofy villain. He's supposed to be the big time threat. I would imagine he's so like one of the theories. And this is, again, wacky theory. I don't even know if this is true.
Okay.
But Kang is supposed to be like the great, you know, like Infinity On grandson, I think, of Reed Richards.
Yeah. No, his name is Nathaniel Richards. Yeah.
So he's supposed to be like,
he's from the year 3000, Jesse. So
I mean, I didn't know that, but now I do. And he's supposed to be like connected. And he's connected to the Fantastic Four in a way that's like, oh, this is our big bad for Fantastic. Like when we start getting into like the next, like after the end of Phase 4, this is like the guy who's going to be this big bad moving forward for a lot of different things, for sure. For sure.
I'll just read you because the biography that they have on marvel.com/characters/king/in-comics. Nathaniel Richards was born in the calendar year 3000 of the alternate timeline, Other Earth, aka Earth 6311. That's exactly what I got from that. Bullied as a youth, his throat was slit by a bully, Morgan, and he was hospitalized for a year. Recovering, he studied science and his ancestors' history tapes of the heroic age of Earth 616, mainstream Earth, growing into a man of adventure in time of complacency. At age 25, he discovered his ancestors' fortress and time machine. Now that was destroyed, I guess, in
I thought that the time machine was supposed to be I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought this was I thought we were in like Doctor Doom territory.
Yeah. Following encounters with alternate Earth Fantastic Four seeking to thwart his future self, which faded from his mind, Richards constructed an immense sphinx-shaped ship and traveled to Egypt circa 2090-50 BC. The ship crashed, blinding and stranding him there, but he subjugated the natives with his technology. He forced the natives to procure him a radioactive herb, which would restore his sight. Then, as Pharaoh Rama-Tut, he ruled as a god for a decade, during which he encountered Samira, mistress of the Nile, who became his enemy, Amenhotep, who he transformed into a vampiric creature, and time travelers such as Kill Power and the genetics team. At some point, he had a son, Ramades, by a slave. Eventually, a struggle with the Fantastic Four, which also involved the young En-Sabah Nur, later Apocalypse, and the moon god Khonshu, and modern era heroes, and modern era heroes, Doctor Strange and the Avengers, forced Rama to flee that time period. That's paragraph 1 of about 15 on the lore of Kang the Conqueror.
But like he straight up, like, there's a timeline in which he knows his end. He knows how he ends, right? Because he controls time, and so he knows, like, he it's very, you know what it is, for all the old Warcraft nerds out there, it's very similar to that one dragon who like knew that in the end he was going to be like a bad guy. He just knew eventually it was going to happen. And so that's pretty much this guy. He's like, yeah, I know one day I'm gonna end up as I think either he knows he's gonna become Limbo, or he's gonna be sent to Limbo, or something like that, where he like knows his future. And so yeah, he's a fascinating character.
This gets wild as hell.
Well, that's because literally Kang is like the guy in the background of all the dumb like if there's something dumb happening in Marvel that's like, wait, that makes no sense. It's like Kang did it, baby. And you're like,
here we go.
Of course.
Returning to the 40th century, Kang completed his galactic conquest and even invaded other dimensions. In Cosmos, he gained technology to create his powerful growing men. Kang then brought the Avengers forward in time, intending to subjugate them and defeat them in front of Ravonna. When both the Avengers and Ravonna defied him, the furious King easily conquered her small kingdom. However, when he tried to force Ravonna to marry him, he caused unrest in his troops for failing to follow his own edict of slaying all conquered rulers. Kang's troop, led by General Baltag, what the fuck?
Baltag?
The Baltag, that's his name. B-A-L-T-A-G.
General Baltag?
Turned on him, but he allied with the Avengers to defeat them. Then, later,
another thing happened.
The cosmic Grandmaster challenged him to a contest of champions, offering him the power of life and death as prize. Using the Avengers as pawn, Kang was victorious, but he chose the power of death, intending to slay the Avengers. Foiled by the Black Knight, Kang had to live with the knowledge that he had squandered his chance to save Ravonna. Here's the best part.
Like, here's the thing. Again, just think about all the names we're dropping.
They're all coming up.
Everything that's happening in Phase 4.
Yeah.
They're all coming up.
Listen
all
to this.
These names are coming up.
Listen to this. One of Kang's most relentless campaigns was his quest for the Celestial Madonna, a woman fated to give birth to the most powerful being in the universe. Wanting to be that being's father, Kang narrowed the Madonna's identity to Agatha Harkness, Mantis, and the Scarlet Witch, abducting all three. Oh, God.
Yeah, this is gonna be wild. Like, again, they have so much to work with because of who Kang is. Kang is everywhere. In the like, if you're like, oh yeah, that X-Men thing, Kang probably caused that to happen. Or like, oh yeah, this other weird ass alien event, like that was Kang. Straight up, go look at Kang's like wiki. You're gonna be like, this guy did everything. Kang was responsible for everything.
Everywhere. Yeah.
But it's also one of those time travel things where it's like, wait, time out. So Kang went back to go look at the event. Like, Kang is the result of all the adventures of the people who came before him, yet he is the cause of all of those adventures.
All right, here we go.
What?
Further down. A trio of Kangs followed Kang Nebula into the time bubble where they were cast into the vortex surrounding it and ultimately destroyed. Though the Divergent King also sent his growing man to help foil the demonic inferno invasion of Earth. Taking control of Chronopolis, Prime Kang sought revenge on Mantis in the modern era, joined Doctor Doom during the Infinity War, took over the Cross-Time Kings, learned an assassin was stalking him, and exposed his would-be killer as Ravonna, now calling herself Terminatrix. Intrigued by her warrior trio, Kang battled her, but sacrificed himself to save her from an assault by the Avengers. Overcoming her hatred for Kang, Ravonna impersonated him and took over the Cross-Time Kings. When Chronopolis was attacked by the immensely powerful temporal entity Alioth, Ravonna revived Kang,
Alioth? That's just
and
lazy.
with the aid of the Avengers, they sacrificed the Cross-Time Kings, using their energy to imprison Alioth.
All I'm saying is, all of this is like all this wacky stuff that you're like, wait a minute, what is this? It's all coming. Just wait. Like Kang is the connector to so much lore in this in Marvel. He's just that dude who's like, yes, I was also there. I made Apocalypse. Like that kind of crazy shit. And you're just like, okay,
there we go.
Sure.
After a brief battle with the X-Men and an enterprising starship crew, Kang formed an alliance with Libra.
Enterprising starship? Is it literally just the Enterprise? Was it Captain Kirk?
With Libra,
was it literally Captain Kirk.
The Kree Supreme Intelligence and the Avengers against Immortus and the Timekeepers.
Yes,
okay.
Immortus is like the other Kang who like was chummy with the Timekeepers.
Following a failed effort to conquer the realm of the Otherworld, Kang, alongside Marcus the 23rd, outfitted as the Scarlet Centurion, using Damocles' base, his massive armada, and alliances with various criminal forces, including rogue Atlanteans and deviants, to conquer Earth.
Oh my God.
But the Avengers led a rebellion that ultimately defeated and imprisoned Kang. Marcus freed Kang in hopes of restoring their dominion, but Kang knew that Marcus had already held back during the war more than once because of his attraction to the Avengers member Warbird. Unable to forgive this betrayal, Kang slew Marcus. Disheartened, Kang told his computer to postpone development of Marcus the 24th. Regaining his focus, Kang plotted against Iron Lad, his younger self created by his meddling in his own past and his allies in the Young Avengers.
Yup. He made an Iron Lad. That's right. He's also a member of the Young Avengers. Get out. Kang is everywhere. This is one of those crazy things that when you realize about Marvel is that it's like, as you peel back the layers, like imagine an onion. Imagine an onion and you just peel back the layers of that onion and you keep peeling the onion. And then underneath that onion is an avocado. You're like, well, how did this get here? It's like, it's always been there. That avocado's always been there.
Though, every time travel plot has to do that, though, where it's like, oh, at some point, this character is responsible for the creation of this character.
Yeah.
Like that, that happens in like the 12 Monkeys show. Like it's like, oh yeah, in trying to fight your past or whatever, you end up creating it.
This is how I hope we see him right here. I want Jonathan Majors sitting like this with a dagger balanced on his finger.
Cocky as shit.
Cocky as shit.
Which I love. I love this pose, and if they pulled this off, it would be a great counterbalance to Thanos. Because Thanos balanced things on a flat, right? But he's like, I balance it on the edge. Right? Yeah. I think that's it's such a weird. I would love that to be a scene. Because I feel like that is you've dealt with other
Here's the
people,
thing.
But I balance differently.
Here's the thing. It's already happening in chat. If this is what they go with for the look of Kang, people are immediately going to call him Sexy Thanos.
I would.
I mean, it's already happened twice in chat. Oh yeah, that's Sexy Thanos.
Also, are we going to talk about how
he's wearing thigh-high boots?
Yeah, again, those boots. I was about to say, we're going to talk about these boots. That boot. All I'm saying is, if you remove his head and put I don't know, any 80s actress's head on his body, it just looks like an 80s actress.
True.
This outfit I've seen in movies. I've seen people wear this in movies from the 80s.
True.
This man not only fucks, but he does so with the boots on.
Well, yeah, that's why he wears a onesie. The
whole
undoes
outfit
his belt
stays on,
and the onesie just kind of falls. Yeah,
the whole outfit stays on. He just has he has one little boot or a little flap. That's how he pees. That's how he does all his business. And
Let me ask you this: does he have a feminine walk to him, like a strut, or does he just walk like a normal?
I think he has the. Do you guys remember the video for I'm too sexy?
Yes,
for
that's what I'm.
He has that
strut.
Okay. He has that strut, like the male model strut, where it's wow, that is a power walk. That's how he gets around. Yes. So sexy, it hurts.
He sounds exactly like that. Funny enough, too.
I'm a model, you know what I mean? Yeah.
You're gonna get this
my
DMCA.
little turd on the catwalk, right? That's it. On the catwalk. Yeah, on the catwalk. Do I know that whole song? Yes, I do. Why? I couldn't even tell you why.
Well, I can tell you why.
Because I strut at home. At home, I put on a mesh shirt and walk around.
Blacked out with the sound dampening curtains there on the left.
This is The Office. Are you saying, JP? Are you saying that I've purposely blacked out curtained my office so that I then can walk around in a mesh shirt and giant thigh-high purple boots with a green top and sing "I'm too sexy for my shirt"? So sexy it hurts.
Correct.
You'd be right, but it'd be weird.
Correct.
But you'd be right.
Correct. All right, that's it. That's the cutoff point for this week's show. Hey, that Black Widow comes out Friday. That's a thing that's we'll be talking about next week. We'll be talking about Loki episode 5 as well next Monday. So make sure you all do your homework. Go watch all that stuff. We were supposed to be on the front page next week, but we were on the front page this week. I don't know if that's going to be a returning thing or some things got I don't know.
Every week.
Yeah, maybe
front
every
page
week.
Every week.
Maybe every week.
This is the content Twitch needs.
Whoa.
This
it's
is
true.
it.
Whoa.
You thought it was hot tubs? No, it's a discussion of Kang's strut. That's what this platform is missing.
Less hot tubs, more questions of whether you'd have sex with yourself. This is what this platform needs.
I'm glad I asked that question while literally on the front page. I'm sure I'm going to get some fun conversations later.
You're going to get a message that's like,
yeah.
Sorry, what does the show you do?
Can you
Maybe you get diplomatic immunity from my Twitch ambassador status.
Diplomatic immunity.
Do I get diplomatic immunity? I don't know.
I don't. They're going to send me to horny jail immediately. They're going to be like, this man, bonk, to horny jail.
There's going to be a corgi that just shows up outside Jesse's apartment.
Bonk.
And he's not going to be walking on all fours. He's going to be walking on his back, two hind legs.
He's going to have a briefcase and a series of lawyers. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Take him, boys.
Sir, you need to come with us.
You'll get bonked, and then we'll never see Jesse again until next week. That's just how it goes.
He's going to come back with like no memories. TVA style.
TVA style. Exactly.
I can't wait to talk about episode 4. Really excited. A lot happened.
Let's do some shout outs. We'll call it a show. Bronze, start us off. Where can people check you out? What's going on?
Mm-hmm. Hi, hello. I'm ThatBronzeGirl. You can find me on Twitch and on Twitter at ThatBronzeGirl. I'm a full-time content creator. Last week I played through a little bit of Dead Island. This week I'm thinking of playing a little bit of Stalker, and I've been back in the turn-based grid strategy hole a la XCOM. I've been checking out this game called Other Side. So, yeah, you can come hang out with me in the mornings. My schedule's kind of a little bit all over the place right now because I have a couple of writing deadlines. But yeah, twitch.tv/ThatBronzeGirl. Hello.
Awesome. Jessam ketchup.
I'm not gonna sell you on what I do or how I do it. All you need to know is twitch.tv/Jesse Cox. One-time subscription. That's right. One time. For the low price of $2.99, you can subscribe for life. And you never have to pay me another cent. You don't have to watch. I don't even care if you watch. But I will take your subscriber number, and I will have the highest number of subscribers on Twitch, so help me God. People, I will look down from my throne of bodies at the people below me, and I will say, 10,000 subscribers, that's cute. As I laugh from my pile of your subscriptions. I, the king of your reality, welcome your subscriptions.
You want me to fade away?
Yes, please.
Thank you, king of our reality. Appreciate that.
Yes, nice.
What? Are you done? Do we need to go back? Are we back? All right. Hello, hi. My name's JP. We're going to be doing some JPNN after this, daily gaming news, after a quick break. And then later today, we're going to continue watching Downtown Abbey, which is a great show that is completely not called that. It's called Downton Abbey, with Jericho and Luxie. And the show's pretty good. So look forward to my new podcast, the Downton Crew, as we'll be discussing that episode every single week. It'll be a fun time. And then all the stuff behind me later tonight, they're going to paint the room, so I'm taking it all down. I have to take everything down in this room, and I'm not looking forward to it because it's going to be a long time of meticulously placing things and putting things where they're not going to get broken and then putting them all back here in about 48 hours. So that's my plan for the next couple of days. We will be back next week. Jesse, you got to do the look.
Wait.
Thank you. We'll be back next week for another episode of the MCU Crew. If you missed the episode, you can grab it over on youtube.com/MCUJP. Or just go grab it in audio form, wherever audio form podcasts are available. Spotify, Apple Podcast, all that stuff. So that's that. Thank you guys for joining me this week, Jesse and Bronze. Always glad to have you.
Look, I look like that guy. I look like one of the timekeepers. That's right. You are certainly a problem.
That's right. We also gotta get
I'm the timekeeper.
We gotta get the logo design started.
That's right, all the timekeeper.
I also have thoughts on this.
That's it.
I too am one of the three.
That's it. Thank you guys. We'll be back next week for more shenanigans. We'll see you guys then at noon Eastern on Monday. We'll talk Black Widow and Loki episode 5.
I too shall be here next Monday
with
my friend main guy and Lorax.
You've got some big Conan vibes in you, Jessam. You know, you bring up the year 3000. You do that voice. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I remember when it was the year 2000. That's how old I am. Anyway, hi, bye everyone. Let's get out of here.
Same here. Bye. We're old. Bye bye. Have a good one. Everyone, bye.